Welcome, everybody. It's episode 247. I'm here. I'm a Jessica. Liz is here. She's not Jessica, but she is here.
What's up?
Thanks for coming. We're here to talk about Liz's collection journey because I thought it was interesting and I said so. That's why we're here to talk about that. Um, let's see who's
Yeah.
in chat. Aurora, Quirky, and a new member. Thanks for becoming a member, Kevin. 6933. Respect. Members don't have very many perks, but there is a secret member live that happens usually once a week. That's usually pretty. It's just like this, but a little bit more, maybe like honest sometimes. Like I'll like reveal how much I sold at a show, like dollar amounts and stuff, which I wouldn't normally do. That's what member lives are for, but that's all they are. Same thing. But how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me on. I'm super excited. It's been a hot minute since I've done a podcast or really kind of anything in the reptile
Was the
community.
last one the reptile gumbo one?
Yeah, this is one and only. So it
Was that the only one?
was.
That
This
was.
is my second debut here.
How long ago was that?
Oh, it was several years at least. I've been out of it about 2 years, just out of hobby as a whole. So I've just
Mm-hmm.
started getting back into it this year.
What do you think about the state of all of us collectively? Do you think we're crazy? Do you think
Girl.
things are different? Like what is somebody like wasn't paying attention and you come back and you like look around?
I mean, it's about the same, it's
Is it?
just yeah. And again, like I've been out of it so long, I'm just dipping my toe back in. So I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm just not catching up on all the gossip and like this and that and like getting back in
Oh,
my
I know.
Discord
There's been a
groups.
lot of gossip actually.
Yeah. So I'm like, as I'm working and I have like I'm like scrolling and trying to like get kind of oriented again, but it's been a hot minute. So
Gosh, I don't even know how to Reader's Digest the gossip. Because
oh
some of
yeah,
it doesn't matter in the end. Like it all blew over and nobody really cared or whatever. But then some of it you just like get used to, you know?
yeah,
And then, but then
yeah.
how do you remember which things you were supposed to tell someone who came back?
Especially for like over like 2 years. I mean, come on.
So let's talk about the previous collection because it was very pretty and nice.
Oh,
What
thank you.
what species were you keeping before?
Yeah, it was Boas. It was just all Boas. Kind of started out when I first started with reptiles. I started with a few like odds and ends, but it just ended up being Boas were my passion. So
Hmm.
ended up breeding them. I think I had like 5 litters total, and then just kind of decided to vamp. Just for a lot of different reasons, honestly. And I mean, I won't go into huge detail with a lot of them,
I
but
mean, you can. It is
yeah.
a podcast.
Well, it's okay. Well, one thing, and this is going to be really interesting, but I actually got sick for a couple of years. And that was kind of, I honestly, I had one foot out the door already. Like I was already like outside of that, just in a state of mind where I was kind of getting out of the boa breeding and like wanting to do something a little bit different.
Hmm.
But that kind of put the nail in the coffin for me. Like we moved, my situation was a little different. And then I got sick and I actually had really, really bad perimenopause symptoms hit me out of nowhere at like 34 years old.
What?
And for any of you ladies listening, like hit me up because it is so much more common for women to go through like early menopause and premature menopause than people realize. And
Did you
it took
need?
me,
Wait, is this too much? Did you
oh
need
no, not at all.
HRP
Like I'm
to
trying to
feel
spread like some awareness
better?
about it too. I've told everyone that I can because a
Okay.
lot of women like go through this and they have no idea what it is, and like their doctors will just kind of like push them aside and tell them it's
Oh
like
yeah.
anxiety or like you can't sleep because you're just anxious. It's that kind of thing. So it took me a minute to get to a stable place, and I'm on HRT now and like feeling
Okay, so the
a
HRT
lot
did
better.
help.
It did. Yeah, it basically saved my life, but I wasn't in any state there for a couple of years to even think about like keeping it like a 40 snake collection. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah. Well,
it
that's
was
a
kind of fate.
honestly a great reason to take a step back from an intensive, time-consuming hobby where their
Yeah.
little lives depending on you.
Yeah, and I couldn't
Yeah.
like do it to my fullest and I was exhausted and it was just not one of those things where like and I had a great friend who helped me out, Ryan, who lives close to me and he agreed to take like what was left of my collection when I had sold most of it. And so he helped me sell the rest, kind of in the middle of chaos moving and all that happening. So
Hmm.
shout out to him, Ryan Kelly, he's amazing.
Does he breed boas, or was he just another keeper in your
Yeah,
area?
he does more of like the large breeds. So he's more like the, big pythons and
Mm.
Burmese, things like that. So
This was rookie
yeah,
stage boa.
yeah,
My mic
basically.
is quiet. Is my mic quiet?
Oh no, you sound good. I can hear you.
Oh Lord.
Uh-oh.
Did I touch something? Turn up your volume, Carissa. I feel like in my ears I sound an appropriate loudness.
Yeah, you sound good to me. I don't know about everybody else listening.
All right, everybody check in. Alicia's here. What's up? What's up? Maybe I'll get a little closer. I don't want to play with my gain because then all bets are off. You'll hear me snuffling, making weird mouth noises.
All the good ASMR.
Yes, and it's not good. It's actually gross and disgusting. Brandon says volume's normal. Okay. I think we'll see. You do sound low, or she sounds high.
Should
I'm
I turn myself
significantly
down?
quieter.
Okay.
Can you turn? Can you turn your gain down?
Yeah, is that better? I turn my volume down a little bit. Or am I screaming at you?
It would be chat. Who knows? Because to me, it sounds all the same.
All
Because
right, guys. Do me a solid here.
right, and then when I run this through the audio version, I can compress the highs down and stuff, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Jess sounds low. Oh my god, I don't want to turn my gain up. Yes, we messed up the show. It's fine. She's now higher. Who's higher? Dang it.
I don't
Oh,
know.
now I'm hella
Maybe
low.
maybe it's my phone, but I don't think anything's changed on my end.
I sound too low. You guys are killing me. I will turn my gain up slightly. Mic check. 1, 2. I'm not touching it any more than that though.
Oh well.
All right. Let's focus. Let's lock back in. Okay, so we needed the collection to go and it went. What was
Yes.
the inciting incident? We were like, okay, I'm ready to get back in.
Really I just started feeling better. And I'm actually in my little office area here. Like I don't know if you can see, I work from home. And so I had this boring, sad little room. And I originally started with just like one enclosure, and I was like, you know what, I want some kind of reptile. So I did like a blue tongue skink, and it was fun. But then she like brumated or whatever for the winter, and I didn't see her. So I was like, I really got to missing my snakes. I mean, that's where my heart is. So I just kind of, decided to reconvert that into a snake enclosure. Like, got one, ended up getting another, and it just kind of, has turned into a hobby for me, just putting together the enclosures and doing the bioactive, which is what I was wanting to do. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I was, even before I got out of Boas, I had, like I said, one foot out the door. I was kind of like, I think I dropped 3 litters in that last year, and I was already saying, hey, this is going to be my last. And I really was, talking to my husband about doing something a little bit different, keeping wise, and doing bioactives and like big display enclosures, because I just feel like it's better reptile keeping. And I have some opinions about the hobby that are pretty controversial, and I'm sure like, it's gonna ruffle some feathers. I already have, in the hobby, but I feel like a lot of what's going on is really kind of akin to puppy mills. And I was starting to feel that way and be a little bit icked out kind of morally by the way that I was keeping and, having just everything in tubs and everything in small enclosures. And it felt a little wrong to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really enjoying it and I'm glad I had the experience, but I always had that kind of tug on me saying like something's not quite right or like fitting here. So I feel like what I'm doing now and the way that I'm keeping is a lot more, I guess, okay. It's feeling okay. There's nothing that is giving me that feeling of, hey, I'm not doing right by the animal type thing.
All right, let's check now. Can you all hear me now? What about now? What about now? Now? Test. I can't tell which way is up in my gain, so I could actually have been turning it down this whole time. Is that good? Bad? Nobody's responding. I guess we
I
can
think, to me, honestly, you sound a little bit lower now than you did
now,
before.
but that was reverse. So
Yeah.
what about now?
Yeah, you sound a bit higher now.
Test.
Yeah.
Test. It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay. No
I don't know. You sound
different.
okay to me.
Test. What about now? I sound way louder to myself now.
Yeah, you sound louder to me now, for sure.
So low? What are you talking about? Better? Oh god. Okay. Okay. So on a maybe a more ethical keeping journey, did you not think boas could be re-included, or were you just ready to try new species?
Yeah, yeah, I love boas. I still really do, and it's kind of hard like watching all these litters being born too, because I'm like, oh, I want that, I want that. But I wanted something a little bit more active during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because boas, I mean, God bless them, like most of mine just kind of like sat in the same place in their tub until night, and then they would kind of move around. But
Mm-hmm.
being that I'm like in my office, I really wanted to focus on species that were like super diurnal and super active, and so I kind of landed on the rat snakes as a
Mm-hmm.
whole and garter snakes. So I have like a little garter enclosure. It's right here, right next to my desk. You can see it. And so they're out just literally all the time. I get to like hand feed them, and it's so fun. Um, and the rat snakes are generally a little bit more active just because they're not like an ambush predator. They're more out and about looking for
Mm-hmm.
prey all the time, and they're a lot more bold than a lot of boas. Um, so like I got a Vietnamese blue beauty, and I had like a slight panic attack when I ordered the thing. I've always wanted one, but even then I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? Because you hear like horror stories of them being just awful. But I think it's the best decision I've ever made snake wise because he is just like such a joy to watch. He's the most active snake I've ever had, ever met. He's out constantly. He's really, really, I mean, people say that they're really kind of pissy and hard to handle, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not rainbows and sunshine. I mean, I'll definitely say that, but he is comfortable with me. So I'm here. He sees me all day. He sees the cats all day, and he's gotten used to kind of commotion about him. He's gotten used to me like sticking my hand in the cage and like just doing things, watering the plants. And so he's really kind of tame from that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
He'll kind of give me the runaround in the cage if I try to hold him, but he doesn't try to bite, and he's not defensive towards me because I've kind of built that trust with him, just being like present all the time and not messing with him a lot. And so I think I'm kind
Do
of
you
blown
want to
away.
mess with him a lot? Like,
I mean,
you
I
want a
do.
snake you can hold and hang out with, too.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of why I got other species. Like I have a Baird's that's
Mm-hmm.
super tame, and I never really see him during the day, but like he's the one I can go in and kind of hold and just be really chill. I kind of realized getting a blue beauty that it was going to be a trade-off in that area. Like it's not something I'm going to be like cuddling all day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But wanting more of a display animal, like it kind of ticked that box for me, and so I've at least gotten him to the point where he's like tame enough to handle it like when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Versus being, you hear all the stories of them being just super defensive and difficult. And I kind of wonder if honestly a lot of those issues aren't because they're again kept improperly and not handled a lot and et cetera, et cetera. Because I mean
I
I see
mean,
people keeping them in tubs,
I've
which
seen
is
some blue
insane.
beauties on the internet that seem like demons.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them honestly I think are just mean, like straight up. Like I'm sure you could handle it all you want in him and probably still try to bite your head off, but
Yeah, like open mouth, gaping at you,
yeah,
meowing.
yeah.
They're an enclosure. I think it's like a personality thing.
Yeah, it
Sometimes.
definitely could be. Like, I could be 100% wrong on that. And I don't have that much experience with them. So, I mean, I'm just kind of going on what I see, but they're so active. I imagine the ones that are like kept in tubs are not exactly the happiest when they come out of it, you know?
Right. They are like Russians, climax, Koreans, stuff like that. They are busy snakes. Like
Hmm.
they want to run around and do stuff all day and have an activity loop that they repeat to like do
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
They're
so I'm
so
assuming blue
active.
beauties are like that too. They're like, I gotta go over here, then I gotta go here and see
Oh,
myself.
yeah. Like all afternoon. I can't imagine. I mean, I've got him. He's probably about like 2.5, maybe pushing 3 feet at this point. And I've got him in like a 4x4x2.
Hmm.
arboreal, and I feel like he already needs like a 6, 8 foot type. You know what I mean? It almost feels too small for him at this stage, and he's about a year old.
Well, do you want to breed these animals, or do you
No.
want to not breed them and just enjoy them?
Yeah, I've gotten out of breeding completely. I just don't really see a need for it, and I don't have the space for it. And it's kind of hard too because if I did, with my constraints, like I can't really keep them the way I'd want to. So I've kind of vowed just never to do like the rack thing again. I think the only thing I could ever see myself maybe breeding would be like climax, maybe like one pair at some point for shits and giggles, just because
Hmm.
people seem to really want them and they're not something that's
Hmm.
going to sit and go to like just crappy homes and, get kind of punted around.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed, right? But like people
Right.
seeking them out are people that seem to like really want that specific species. So it's not, you know what I mean? They're
Hmm. Well, you have little
hopefully.
garter snakes. I don't think those get punted to any old home. You know what I mean? It's not like they're a
Yeah.
hard animal to really deck out their enclosure. No?
Yeah, you'd hope not. And they stay pretty small, but I think there's so many of them too. That's one of those things that's like there are like a million of them available already if you go on like more markets. So I'm kind of like, you
Are
know.
there a billion? You remember when they like shut up in price and they were all like there was none, and all of a sudden they were all $400 each, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, that's about like the price, like 300, 400. You can go get like a, red sided or like whatever you want, or
right,
is it
but
blue
they used
sided?
to be $20. So like we still don't
Yeah.
have enough. You know what I mean? Supply and
Yeah, well,
demand.
I think people
So,
have like started promoting the morphs more, and well, not morphs per se, but I think they're just like localities that have been, like the flames and stuff like that
mhm.
look cooler, and so. And you do have some morphs, like there's like the area albinos that are,
There's a
like
bunch of morphs in some species. I guess the problem is like, do you want to get the calico from checkered garter snakes and put it in goldens from eastern garter?
yeah,
Like
yeah. And they're different too. Yeah, that's one thing. You can't just like throw all the different like types together because some of them will
very
eat each
different.
other from what, yeah, like very much
But they
so. So
will all have sex with each other because they love it.
they
That's their
will,
life.
yeah. And mine are unsexed too. So it's going to be fun, like figuring out who's who and then like, having to maybe eat one
Yeah,
on
I
some
don't
work
think
market.
anybody has to breed anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you
Yeah.
sold baby boas. You know what that's like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun to have it really is. I see because you see everyone, I swear to God, when they get their first boa, they're like, I'm gonna breed this. You know what I mean? They get their snake and then they get into the hobby and they're like, oh, I'm gonna breed. You know what I mean? And they
Hmm.
have like the plainest morph. They have like a normal ball python. You know what I mean? And it kind of goes from there. And I mean, that's how I got into it too. But I realized
Did you
pretty
feel like you
quickly,
had to breed when you had boas, or did you feel like you just thought you should breed, or you wanted to breed?
yeah, I just really wanted to. I wanted the
Okay.
experience. And honestly, I like fell in love with certain morphs and things. And I was like, you know what? I can do this better type thing. Or like I can make really the first boa I ever got was a super raptor. And like I mean, you just did not find many of them. It was like
Hmm.
imported and all this stuff. And it was just like the prettiest snake I'd ever seen. And I remember like sitting in my bed at night with just that one boa and being like, I want to make more of these.
Hmm.
They're not many around. They're so cool. And like I did eventually breed her. That was literally the last litter I had. I finally made, some raptors from my, and it was great. It was like a benchmark for me. And it kind of like dove into, like
Hmm.
bookmarked that for me. So that I could get out and say, hey, I achieved that goal. But yeah, I really wish I could have continued it on. I just feel like it just wasn't sitting right with me in a lot of ways. So it just wasn't something I could really
The
fulfill as
breeding
far
or
as,
like the needing racks and like
yeah, all of
that
it
part.
really.
Okay.
Just all of it, like just keeping them on like cardboard and stuff, and it wasn't
Well,
what I
what
wanted
if
to do.
you, I don't know, had a space that you feel like was adequate for a boa? Maybe a smaller locality or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Would
I
you
could
be,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely. But it's interesting. I think a big part of it was like the experience for me and the experience of it. And I think that's why most people breed, right? Like
Hmm.
most people aren't doing it for money. Most people are, not for the clout. They like want the experience of having litters. And I mean,
Hmm.
it's thrilling, right? It's like a drug when you do it for the first time. And then you're like, oh, I want to do this more and more and more. And then you end up with like all these holdbacks. And you end up like all these, and the expense and everything kind of like builds and builds until
Spirals.
you're, yeah. And I got to that point where I was like out of space. I had all these holdbacks and I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm getting to the point where it's like, it's getting harder and harder to keep them the way I want to. And it's taking more and more energy
Hmm.
and it's just snowballing, and it does that.
Did you think about like cutting the number back first and then you're like, no, we have health issues that makes it go down to zero? Was there like a
Yeah.
middle ground point that you were at?
Yeah, not at that point, unfortunately. And a lot of that was with us moving. So, like, my situation changed and where I went from like a downstairs bedroom to like an upstairs bedroom. And so it was harder for me to do everything.
Hmm.
And I also wanted to like have a closed in office space since I do work from home. So it was one of those situations where it just, the stars aligned and everything was like, hey, I need to get out of it for a while. I need to like completely step out and kind of rethink everything and just take the stress off myself, basically.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think a lot of people, for good or ill or whatever, are in that position. Like they had snakes for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, and they're like, okay, do we need to keep doing this? Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
fun, we had fun, and then they're like, okay, do I want more, less, in the switch species for fun? I think many people are in that position. So I thought you were interesting because you actually took a whole break and then came back. Is your
Yeah.
collection going to be limited just to your office, like whatever enclosures you can fit in the
Yeah.
office? Well, that's good because
Yeah.
there's like a natural barrier. You're like cut off.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, these bioactives are a lot of work. Like I spend probably an hour every day after work just like tinkering with them and stuff. So it's, again, I got like limits that are still there as far as like the time and energy and the space, really. Like I probably can't like have anything else um
Hmm.
unless it's very small.
Well, that is a
Teeny
reason to
weeny.
go small in general to me.
Yeah, yeah. Which is interesting because I feel like it's weird. I see it in ads too, where people are like highlighting the fact that the parents are huge.
Hmm.
They're like big babies, you know what I mean? And it's like everybody wants bigger and better, and people like feed the stew out of their snakes to get them bigger. And I just don't. I guess I've never really understood it because it's a lot easier to keep a snake and keep a snake happy and keep more snakes if you have smaller snakes, and you're not
Right.
like, yeah, like growing the stew out of them. So I'm like, I'm trying to like
Do you think
keep
there's
that in
like
mind with mine.
there's a gender bias to that?
As far as men doing it more than women, like that,
Hmm.
yeah.
They're like, this thing is really masculine and
Absolutely.
huge, just like my wee wee.
Yeah, I
And
feel like there's some Freudian stuff in there. So, we could
that's
like
what
sit
I'm
here and
saying.
analyze.
Because when I talk to customers, thousands of customers at shows, what are you interested in? Why are you here? What's a lot of times I'll be like, well, this species gets 3 to 4 feet long, like a corn snake or a king snake. They're like, that's too big. That's
Yeah.
too big somehow for many kinds of people in this
Yeah, for
earth.
most people to keep. Yeah, like
Yeah.
absolutely. It's intimidating.
Right. And so then when boys are like, oh, this thing is as thick around as my arm, I'm basically a tripod when the snake's around. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a selling feature the way you think it is. It might be to some people, but, modesty sometimes is pretty good, you know?
Yeah, and I think that goes back to like why are you keeping type thing, and I think a lot of people want like the huge snakes. It's for like them to feel like they have a huge snake. You know what I mean? It's like street cred. It's for them to like show it off to their friends and stuff. And like I think
Hmm.
that's like 'cause you don't see a lot of women like keeping like retics and berms and
I mean,
stuff.
some of them do, and they're queens.
Yeah,
We love them. But
yeah, yeah.
they
But it's
don't
like
talk
primarily
about big
men.
snakes in that way.
Yeah. Like, oh, you see the size of that?
Oh,
Like,
God, it's so girthy. And you're like, whoa, calm down. I don't know. It is interesting. I obviously still I have boas still, and I like them, and I think they are not unreasonably sized for certain
Mhm.
kinds of people. But for some people, I think they are too big.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends on where you're at and your space too, like and what you want to keep.
Yeah, some people are just like, I would never buy a snake over 5 feet ever under any circumstance. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
calm down. But that's just a whole class of people. They don't want that.
Well, it, like, depends on the snake too, because you're talking 5 feet. Like 5 feet for like a VBB is like nothing, right? Like
I know, but they
they're
still
so
think that's
skinny.
too
I
big.
mean,
They're
mine is almost
insane.
like 3 feet, and he's tiny. But like if you're talking like a 5 foot female boa, yeah, they're gonna be like they're gonna be hefty, like
Right,
like
it's a lot.
yeah, they're not gonna be like curled up in the corner in like a tiny ball.
Hmm. Right. And
So.
it's all different, and different customers want different things. But I think
Hmm.
people, something I've tried to learn, which I don't know if I've learned perfectly, is my norms are not everyone else's norms.
Yeah,
So when I hear that a 4 foot snake is too big, I need to check
that's
myself, keep my
yeah.
base normal, and just be like, okay,
That's
that's
like on the
fine.
lower rate. Like, I mean, honestly, because I just went through that, like looking at smaller species. And I mean, the climax is what I landed on as far as like being really kind of active and bold, but being on the smaller side. And I say smaller, in quotations, because you're still looking at like maybe a 4 or 5 foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still apparently that's too big still for some people.
I
Like
think,
they
I think, yeah,
I and
yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. But I think those people actually just need a gecko. Like it's going to be this big
yeah,
forever. It's their little buddy. It has this size cage. They can do bioactive, and that's it. But like they can't get over the fact that it could be this big around, but be 3 4
yeah.
feet long.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I mean, looking at like my Blue Beauty or my Bear, it's like, I mean, they're fairly long, size wise for like how big around they are, and I mean, but they'll still fit in a hive that's like this size. Like
Right. I don't
it's
think they like
crazy.
think about it like that. They just hear
No, yeah,
three,
because I
four,
just see them
five
like
feet, and they're
stretched
like,
out.
it's gigantic. And I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
it's gonna like
yeah.
eat the cat. Yeah, no.
Right. And I think maybe that's like experiential too, but I do think having like if someone was gonna breed, having garter snakes and Vietnamese beauties is good. Because then they could be like, okay, you don't want a
Yeah,
Vietnamese blue beauty, garter snakes it is then.
yeah. You
Like
give them
as
a range.
right.
Let 'em pick.
For
Really,
me,
garters, like I would recommend to anyone because they're such easy keepers. I mean, you can basically keep it at room temp with like a hot spot. They eat literally anything. Like they were so easy to transition over to mice. It wasn't even funny. And they're really active. I mean, I've gotten them to the point, especially if you like hand feed them, they'll come up and just kind of like rest on my hand a little bit. Like and they're pretty young. So if someone wanted a small species, like that probably would be my go-to. Like you probably need a garter. You know what I mean? Like
right.
dip
And
your
I
toe
think
in.
what's nice about garters is because you can house them communally. If you get like a same sex group, they can be sort of like, I don't know, a community tank
Yeah.
equivalent of fish
Yeah, it's
or
so
something.
cool. It's so cool. And that's why I wanted them to, because I love communal species. Like the idea of having that was just really intriguing.
Hmm.
And there are several, I didn't realize this, but blue beauties as well can be communal, especially the females. I think there's someone online I follow that has housed them communally. And
I
they
think
will,
Chris just posted a picture of two Ridley eye together. Didn't he
yeah,
say that?
yeah, a lot of those. Yeah, a lot of the beauty
Yeah.
snakes and related. Like they will
Right.
they will actually like co-sit nests. So all the females will just kind of lay their eggs in one area and incubate them together, and it's really cool, honestly. So it's stuff that people don't really think about. And I've heard climax will do that too, like are able to be
Yeah.
co-housed as females.
You can do it. It just sometimes you just watch them when they eat. That's all.
Yeah. I'm sure it can get a little dicey. It's not something I'd ever attempt outside of the garters because they're pretty chill with each other.
Right.
But yeah.
Corn snakes cohouse really well too. Same way because they really don't want to eat other snakes. Like it's not even
Yeah.
in their DNA.
Their vocabulary, yeah,
No.
yeah.
So, but they're like, whatever, let's be friends. But I think, controversial topics. We're doing them. A 10 footer is too big for Jason. He says, at least it can be put away, and he definitely doesn't want to need permanently attached. That is correct. We do not. It's unacceptable. So, what species of garters did you end up selecting?
So they're Eastern garters. They're just a flame variety that's a little more orange. Um, so
Did
yeah,
you
I got
get
three of them.
like a pair of siblings?
Yeah, I got a trio of siblings,
Okay.
and again, they're not sex. I want to keep just like a male only tank. So I may just, if one of them ends up being female or something, just go ahead and sell those and like buy some more males, bring them in. But that's kind of the goal, is just to have a little bachelor pad, you know.
Would you get a bachelor pad of multiple species?
Maybe.
Just so there's different colors in there?
Yeah, maybe. I might do like the California red sided. Like those are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, honestly, this is weird, but I wanted some red stripe ribbon snakes.
Mm-hmm.
They're impossible to find. I don't know what the deal is.
Where
They're
are
one
they
of those
native to?
species.
Which
Here,
part?
I mean, the US,
Which
right?
part?
Like you can find them in Texas, places like
Oh,
that.
just go get some yourself.
But girl, the only place you can buy them is Europe. Like there's one guy breeding them and selling them, and it was going to be like $1,300 to import a few pairs, and I was like, forget it. You
Listen,
know what
we
I
have
mean?
wild collect in Texas.
Yeah, I'm about to go
Uh,
visit my aunt and just bring like a bucket. You know what I mean?
well, they're in
Get
West
in some
Texas
trouble.
too. Listen, it's no trouble. You just get the permit.
But yeah, they're really cool. It makes me wonder if there's like something going on with them that people don't. They're just not as desirable because there's no one here working with them. You know, but I think they're cool and pretty. So that's one species I was like, hey, I can keep them communally. Maybe it's something I'd want to breed at some point, but you know, if there's no demand for them, it's kind of pointless too. You know, just be like a little pet project for me.
It's just hard because I think it's available in Europe because there's a market for it in Europe because it's a snake that doesn't
Hmm.
live there.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then here, it needs to both be sort of commercially viable in terms of its aesthetics and keeping and what somebody actually has to want to do it. So
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it has some commercial need, but they still
yeah.
can't.
I don't think people are super into the wild type, and I don't think it has a lot of like morphs or variations in locality. So it's one of those things that I think the garters have just kind of trumped it, you know, and they're a lot more aquatic. So I think the setup requirements a little different. So
Hmm.
it's one of those that would be like a especially bioactive type deal.
I mean, so they let's show a picture. Uh, some of them do look cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just the
Garter
wild type.
Kings has pictures on their Instagram. That, I mean, they keep them and breed them, and they're really neat actually. Like they're very pretty.
Well, he's in the U.S., isn't he?
Europe, I think.
Garner cases. Oops.
Think I may be thinking of the wrong count, but yeah, they're
Have you
neat
been
looking.
testing for crypto as you get them, or where are you at
Yeah,
on
that's
that?
something I'm actually working on because I actually reached out to RAL and talked to them about it too. And they said, hey, it's better to test them like over a long period of time, over like 6 months or so. So I'm actually just collecting like the poo when I find it for each snake and kind of putting it to the side so I can test
Hmm.
when I have enough of it, because it's kind of pointless to do one test on them. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't realize that, and that like, they test and it's negative and they're like, oh, they don't have crypto. But it's so rare that they're
Right. I
shedding
like to
it.
test early so that I can get a refund.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like if it pops on the first one, then it's super obviously
Yeah.
infected.
Yeah. And I may start doing that too. I've been trying to just be like very careful about like cross contamination and things. But yeah, that's definitely one thing I'm going to test everyone for and make sure that anything stop coming in.
Right. I don't know what it is about garter snakes. I think it's because they communally house them, but I get more weird messages from garter snake keepers. Let's put it that way.
About crypto or just in general?
About crypto. Like
Yeah.
because the people who produce them communally house them. So they're always like
Yeah.
sharing space with whatever. just just because there's aren't enough bins for everybody to be separate. That's my
Yeah, I'm sure
assumption.
it spreads a lot more easily. And you see that a lot more mentioned with the garter keepers, like when they're selling things. Like I saw several ads that were like, tested negative for crypto, the parents. So I thought that was interesting. So it
Hmm.
must be something that's pretty common with them as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is in the UK. Interesting.
Hmm.
Garter Kings is. I didn't know that.
Yeah, those Sanford garters are amazing. I wish they were legal here because that was kind of my like a bucket list, you know what I mean? But I don't want to
Yeah,
get in
they're
trouble.
cool, but the California red sides can be as cool looking. I think
Yeah.
and still that scratch the same itch. You know. Uh. Okay. So garter snakes. How many more species do you think you want to add to this menagerie?
Honestly, I could only see myself really adding like a Dionys at some point. And I know
Mm-hmm.
you breed those and like and they stay really small. So I
Mm-hmm.
like I made a 3 foot, like a little, I'm in the process of putting together an enclosure that's smaller for this climax to grow up into. And I thought, like, granted she tests negative for everything and I can kind of sanitize it. Maybe I would look at getting Dionis and putting it in there because it would be more appropriate size or something like that, and I just have an empty enclosure. So
Did you find a climax from somebody?
I did,
Okay.
yeah. I got them from Chill Life Exotics. So I did pick up a female who's super chill, love her so far. So
What
she's
was
just
their What was their name?
Chill Life Exotics.
Who's
It's
that?
Mike Cochran.
I don't know. I believe you.
But yeah, she's really chill to handle. She seems to be like really a good personality wise so far. Because I've heard they can be like a little flighty when they're younger. So
Yeah, to me they get psycher as they get older if you don't handle them. Like if I
gotcha.
sort of half ignore somebody for 6 months and try to take a picture, they're like, "Excuse
Heck
me,
no. Yeah.
you
Like,
haven't
what are we
handled
doing?
me in a while, so I might run away." Actually, all right, that's cool. Yeah, I like all of them, but I think Dione's is like the party snake, like the one that rules them all basically because it's so little and just a little guy.
Yeah, they're so cute. Oh my gosh. And for those
Like,
people wanting smaller snakes, like that's kind of perfect. They're really chill.
right, and they're born so big. So for a little snake born that big, you don't have to chop up pinkies. They're born
Yeah,
gigantic, but then grow up to be just a little guy.
that's funny. I
And
had
he
no
has pinkies the
idea.
whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that is one thing with the garter snakes. If you don't like chopping up food, like you're SOL with those, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
or having a
you gotta get
special
your hands a little
blender to
dirty.
make your slurry.
Gross.
Whoa. No, garters are fine, but I think they solved the garter problem on the rat snake side
Hmm.
in a way that's like, I don't know why people don't like them. I have no idea, but y'all are dumb,
Yeah.
and I will
They're
trick
not
you
like the
into it.
flashiest. And that's another thing that I'm gonna sit here and harp on because I feel like a couple of the species that I've gotten are not the flashiest in the world as babies. Like obviously the climax, they're born just looking pretty average. They turn blue over
They're
time.
boring gray,
Yeah, and Beards, like Beard snakes, the same thing. You
also
look at
gray
one,
brown, real boring and stupid.
yeah. So like people aren't being exposed to these snakes. Like they don't know they exist if they're not like digging for them or just come across them because they're not at shows. They're not,
Well, even
like
when they aren't shows, they don't buy
prolific.
them. So like,
Yeah, so like no one really like bothers. You know, what I mean, I've
no,
never come across one in my life till I really started digging on it and like ended up inquiring. But
yeah.
yeah, like I've never seen one, but
A
they're
long
so
time
cool as
ago, like
adults.
in Washington, even during like pandemic hype times, I took baby climax to shows to sell, and I never sold a single one ever,
Yeah, that's
even with
crazy.
pictures of the adults around.
Really? See, that's I don't know. I think people are just a little impatient sometimes. Like your
I just
average
think,
buyer, you know what I mean? They want something kind of flashy now.
yes, I think that's part of it. And I also think like I don't know if people even know what they want when they go to a show.
No.
Some people have a list. They're like, I'm looking for a a dark phantom crested gecko.
Yeah.
And the other people just walk around until something magically hits them in the face, and they're like, "I
Yeah, they
guess I
just want to
want
be
that."
wowed. Yeah, they just want to be wowed.
Right.
And like I think too, like climax being so arboreal, and again, like the blue beauties, a lot of the stuff I've gotten is super arboreal. People don't really have the setups for them too. Like,
Right. And
you know what I
now
mean?
there are bigger, like 4x4x2 versions that are cheaper than there like
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
were. That I think would be perfect for like a long time. What
yeah.
cage manufacturer did you pick for your cages?
It's the Reptile basics, so I just got them from Dubia.com, Dubia Roaches. And for what I need, they're perfect. They're a great size. They come in different sizes. They're easy to put together. They're not super expensive. If I
Mm-hmm.
was doing like a really big build or something, they're not like the sturdiest thing in the world, but
Mm-mm.
for what I need, they're fine. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I do think that might be the cheapest 4x4x2 that
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
I think so. Yeah,
So
yeah.
for like, I don't know, bird eaters or spilotes or climax or anything like that, it's like a pretty good cage overall.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a decent option. And I like that they're like for this Blue Beauty, I think I'm just gonna like throw another one in there and just double the size because I mean it's really easy to add on with them.
Hmm.
Versus like having to buy an 8-foot cage, that should be
Right, it's
crazy
hard to
expensive.
ship an 8-foot cage.
Yeah, you're looking at freight if you go with like animal plastics or something, and then your cost is just astronomical versus spending a few hundred, like just tacking on, the
Hmm.
same. So,
I always, because those panels, I always wish they would sell like, instead of like attaching them together, like sell a panel that has like hamster tunnels in it.
yeah,
So they could have
it can
two.
just go back and
Yes,
forth.
and it could be
Yeah.
stacked, like the tunnel could go up. But like they had their manufacturer, like instead of the wire holes, they just sold a hamster tube that fit and like nested and like screwed in on the other side so the snake couldn't knock it out. So you could hamster tube all around if you wanted to.
That's actually
Because that hole
interesting.
is already a
Yeah.
good size for like a rat snake adult to pass
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
And
And I
then
was kind
you,
of thinking about that too, because I've got stuff like on that side of the cage, like
mm-hmm,
kind of nailed in. I was like, what if I just like cut out part of the cage or just like drilled some holes through it,
right,
you know what I mean? And it would keep a different heat gradient too. I think you could have like a truly cool
right,
side because they need a little bit cooler temperatures, it
right.
might
So if you
be.
did instead of this way, they were this way,
Yeah.
then they could go down and party. Because like the boa file used to make cages like that. Do you remember those that had like pass throughs?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I don't know if he still makes any cages, but he used to have pass throughs that were vertical and pass throughs that were this way. They could attach like two of his 4-footers together.
Yeah, yeah.
And that makes sense, but they were very expensive, right? Because they were nice folded PVC. But these are like cheaper. But what's the cheap version of doing that? Hamster tubes
Yeah.
or something
Yeah,
like that.
basically. Or
Like
just,
a
I mean, yeah, you could probably put a PVC pipe in there. So, like, you can jerry rig it
mhm.
somehow. I've got my little hole saw, so like, you know what I mean? I'm getting ready. We'll
uh
figure it out.
yeah. Are you using uh is the whole thing bioactive on all of them?
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Okay.
And I can kind of show you, like, I don't think I can turn this around, but yeah, there's one of them, and the lights are kind of out. So that's my big bioactive. I've got one over here that's more for the birds. It's kind of semi-arid. And then we've got the little garter enclosure over here too, which is also kind of semi-arid, but it holds a little more humidity when I need it to. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I'm trying to do bioactive on everything that I can because it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's been so much fun. Honestly, I have as much fun dealing with the isopods and the springtails and things like that as I do with snakes. Like I just had zebras that had babies, and I'm like over the moon today.
Do you feed your isopods extra in the cage?
I do, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I put out some of the fluval bug bites for them, and I've been like feeding the springtails off of the what is that? Like the yeast, certain type of
Hmm.
yeast that they just like go bananas over. So it's really fun to kind of supplement them, and they get all over it, and I can kind of watch them. They come out to eat. So
Where do you fall on the stir or not stir the dirt debate?
honestly, I haven't done a lot to it, so I kind of just let it aerate. I think the springtails help a little bit with that, and then I've got a fun little I'm not calling it an infestation yet, but I've had some like house millipedes appear from the soil too, and I know they're pretty good at aerating it, but they
Okay.
also can get like
Do you think you
super
don't need to
prolific.
aerate it? Manually, like with a rake, tiny rake?
Yeah, and I probably will go in at some point because I mean the one that I've got's nearing about a year old over here, the the one that's kind of semi-arid. So it's something I probably will go and do. And we're also looking at moving again. Like it's a big thing.
Oh no.
Soon, yeah, we want to at some point. So I'm sure like I'm gonna have to pull them apart anyway. So it's gonna be super fun to do that. Um, but yeah, where do you fall on that? Do you have any bioactives or have an opinion on it?
I had bioactives. I hate them.
Really?
I think that they're a source of pests,
Yeah, they
and
are.
all of your isopods run away, and you find them in a dollar isopod in the bathroom, dried up
Oh my gosh.
2 weeks later. That's my opinion. No,
Yeah, I
I
find
think they're
springtails some
fine,
weird
and
places.
they're whatever. They're whatever. But I just
Yeah,
think they're it's like having a separate pet. You have
it
one
is.
pet,
Yeah. I
and you
mean, you
have
have
this
to
other
maintain
pet.
them for sure.
Yeah, and like my isopods would crash, and I'd be like, I've been feeding you and taking care of. I think like whatever trace minerals or whatever will crash in the bioactive soil. Like they'll deplete something, even if they have
Yeah.
calcium and whatever in the soil. So I think the soil has to be refreshed itself
That's
and
interesting.
redone. Just
Yeah.
like I was just like, what is going on here? Why are you all dead? You have everything you need. I just think it's more complicated.
Then people realize, yeah.
Yes. It's not like
Yeah.
you set it up and it's perfect forever. If you want all the little pieces to make it the whole way through.
Yeah. Because it's a contained system. I mean, you're obviously not like feeding it anything but what you're putting in there
Right.
versus, hey,
Like I
stop
think
that
you
in the
can
wild.
deplete the soil itself of
Hmm.
something, or maybe it gets too much bacteria load or something, and that kills
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
isopods.
Well, I wonder if you could just top it off or kind of refresh it, go through
Well,
and
that's what I was talking about. Like, was there an anoxic layer in like a relatively temperate cage forming that made a
that
bacteria?
happening.
I
Yeah.
don't know, something like
Yeah.
that. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then I was like, and the other thing is like my job. I feel like really comes down to the least amount of forward fly as possible.
Yeah.
So technically, a bioactive build is refugia from that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
that's,
they
I mean,
will
that's
go
one of the
run
things
away
I
fine.
enjoy. Like, I want to get out and like tinker with things and have problems to solve and say, you know what I mean? Because I have so few to deal with. But I imagine when you're dealing with a whole collection of snakes, like the bioactive is the last thing you want to get off and work enough to do.
Right. And I think for some species, like little lizards, little frogs, where their waste load is so small relative to the
Hmm.
volume of even the bottom of a small cage, do it. Because, like,
Yeah.
pulling the frogs out and disturbing dart frogs for your dumbass to, like, do a full swap, don't do it. But I think snakes have a lot of volume of product.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever's going on, I think it messes up the chemistry. So you need like an even bigger concomitant than you would think.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
bigger than like the long part of the snake. Maybe bigger, bigger, bigger. Like
Yeah. And I mean, I'm a fan of that, period. And I mean, I've had discussions too with like friends of mine. One friend in particular is telling me, hey, like some species just do better in tubs. And I mean, I believe that. I think some like smaller spaces, you know, they don't need obviously like a big arboreal like setup.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I don't know. I haven't like kept that many myself.
mm-hmm.
But for the ones that are really active, I think the bigger the better. Like the bigger you can provide them. You know, I think a lot of
Right.
people just look at the minimum recommended sizes and they're like, okay, well, I'll do that, you know, because that's the size they recommend.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It just, I guess it comes down to like what can you handle? What do you think the animal needs, really?
I think once an animal is established and doing good and out of quarantine and doesn't have crypto, I think 99% of them you can go nuts and make it
Yeah,
gigantic,
yeah.
technically.
And
I
they'll be
just think
happy.
people get hyper fixated on like being perfect instead of being pretty good and like working on it. Like, what if we just get a little better each day?
Yeah,
like, like
yeah.
they're like, oh no, my crested gecko is being tortured because it's not in a 4x2x2, and I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's in a 18 by 36 by 18 or whatever. That's okay for now. Maybe like instead of feeling bad about it, you just add different enrichment items each day. And then if you want a bigger cage later, you can. But they'll like be like, I have to
yeah.
get rid of this because I'm being an unethical keeper. I'm like, it's a lot of pressure on people to be like, match the wild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you can't. Like, you're never going to. And it's, I
No,
mean, look
no.
how much space the average person has, too. It's not like, you know, they've got rooms and rooms to dedicate to, you know, enclosures. So
Right.
it's
So I
really
think
just
there's
what's like
other.
feasible.
Right. It's what's feasible. Does the animal seem pretty happy? If the cage is a little undersized, you can work on getting a bigger cage, but they're not dying right now. Like,
Yeah.
take them out and play with them. Put them in a playpen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's where I am with my Blue Beauty. I'm like, you know, he probably could use a bigger cage, but I'm not in a point where I can have like an 8 foot enclosure in here right now. You know what I mean? So he's just gonna have to be
right, he's fine.
content and stop whining, you know.
I don't think he's whining. He looked like he was doing good on Instagram.
Oh, he eyeballs me, girl. He sits there in that glass and he looks at me.
He's like, "Where's my mouse?" Actually,
Yeah,
ma'am.
basically.
Well, do you feel like pet people, keeper only keepers, are included correctly in reptile media content?
Mm, I don't really know. That's a hard question to answer because I feel like a lot of the people that we see in the media and being more vocal are the breeders, obviously, because they're more involved
Mm-hmm.
as a whole. Obviously, they talk to more people. They have a bigger social media presence a lot of times because it's part of their business.
Right, and they always have
Um,
something new to talk about because something new was born.
yeah, yeah,
But if you
it
have the
is. They do have
same
more
leopard gecko
content.
for 20 years, like what's it's Jimmy. He's still here, or maybe Jimothy, if you will.
Oh my God, Jimothy.
Uh, Lisa
See, I feel
said,
like I need to name a garter snake Jimothy now, just
yeah,
to an honor.
breeders care more. Do we care more? Oh God.
But care more about what exactly? That's the question. Like, care more about their image, their presence in social media, care more about the
Yeah.
animals, care more.
Mm-hmm. It could
What would
be.
it?
I think breeders do try to have more content because they have a financial incentive to be
Yeah.
available all the time.
Yeah. And they just want to share it. I know when I was breeding, I mean, it wasn't any kind of like financial motivation, but it was the way that I could connect in the hobby and
Mm-hmm.
feel relevant. And
Do you
that's the
feel
only reason
like
I
you
really
can
still
connect
do Instagram.
now if you don't breed anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
definitely. Because I mean, I have like the Discord groups, and I'm a part of one that you're in, and it's like I
That's
feel like it's
fine.
fun.
I made that.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
Sorry.
when it was like first started. I came back and I'm like, oh, it's still here.
Isn't
So
that
glad.
crazy? I feel old. I feel like crippling age
Girl, I'm in
clothing.
Barry Menopause. Like, come on.
I know what's going
You
on.
preaching to the choir over here. Let me just get my estrogen patch out.
It's fine, but I keep going like, oh my God. I was listening to a podcast that I was on in 22, and I was like, that wasn't that long ago. That was four
Right?
years ago.
And that was like after COVID. I think back to
I
COVID, and I'm
know
like, oh
it's
my
like a
God, it was like
lifetime. All right, well, so you
seven.
think you're I think you're doing great, and I think it's fine to be a keeper and never breed anything and just like
Thank
share
you.
your fun adventures online. I think that's fine, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, different strokes for different folks and
Yeah,
whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean?
right. And some of the biggest accounts are pet only accounts.
Hmm.
The just owner of it is just like a funny person. Like
Yeah.
Marshmallow's owner is a funny person. Baguette, the blue tongue skink. Do you follow Baguette?
No, I follow honestly, a lot of cats on Instagram.
See?
'Cause I'm a
You
cat
don't need to
person too,
breed
but yeah,
cats
it's
to.
big there. Yeah, it's like you don't see a lot of catteries, but oh my God, everybody has like an Instagram account for their pet.
So I think it
So
could be a thing, and people aren't shouldn't be excluded. And thanks for being here and having fun.
yeah, no, this has been a lot of fun. Like I don't know. Thank you for inviting me. It's been really nice getting back into things and just feeling like a part of it. And it's like a
Yeah,
whole part of my life I've gotten back. So been missing
good.
it.
We aren't all weird. I mean, I am, but
But aren't we in a way? You know what I mean? It's like the norm to keep snakes. And I tell people they're like, giving me the side eye, but like it's normal to
right.
us.
And the other thing I've been thinking about a lot is like, if every piece of media, marketing, content we tell someone is that they have to breed and that's the only way they participate, then we have created a set of perverse incentives to the whole process. If the only way you count is by breeding something,
Yeah.
hello,
Yeah.
no, everybody counts. And I think if someone finds their like happy number of pets and then just wants to go to shows to like hang out and buy art and extra plants or something, good, good. Like, thanks for coming. Like, get feeders. Like, that's
Yeah,
a
and
lot
I
of
mean
people
that's where
do.
I am really. I'm like because I went to a show this past weekend and just got a couple plants and like some cork.
Mm-hmm.
You
What
know
show
what I
did you
mean?
go to?
It's just it was the Show Me Reptile show here in Memphis. So it was pretty small, but it was fun. I got to meet new people. Like I
Mm-hmm.
connect with sellers and I'll like follow them on Instagram. So it is kind of how I'm like just meeting people and getting back into the hobby. And it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun to go and just like shoot the shit with people because they'll talk all day
Mm-hmm.
long about snakes. And again, you don't have to be a breeder. And I think our hobby does a good job at that too. Like I don't feel like there's a lot of pressure to breed on people. I think most people are just doing it because again they want that experience. Like
Mm-hmm.
they see it, it looks fun. I was the same way, and I'm really glad I had the experience. It's just.
You just know it's not right for you.
Yeah, yeah. I think I just needed the experience, honestly, and it's not something that like I
Yeah.
have the passion to do forever. But this I could see doing for a long time, just like keeping reptiles and having them in my
Do you feel
life.
like you're buying pets too fast?
A little bit, yeah,
Like,
but
what
that's
if,
just
like, 3
me.
years from now, you're like, actually, I wanted to try Emerald Tree Skinks. And
Yeah.
now you're full of all your pet slots. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and I thought about that too, and I mean, it just is what it is. I feel like and that's just part of who I am, and that's what I did with Boas too. I just went like full throttle,
Hmm.
and that's just kind of how I am with a lot of things and projects and hobbies. But I think the snakes that I've got are ones that, especially the ones that have that like ontogenetic change as they grow older, are more of like a long-term thing for me.
Hmm.
So, they're going to change, they're going to grow, I'm going to develop different
It is going
relationships
to
with
be
them.
fun watching them
Yeah,
like
so
move
I
in.
really, again, I tried to be kind of thoughtful about the things that I bought. Like I wanted really like bold snakes. I wanted ones that would be active, that I could see a lot, that would be fun to watch grow versus
Do,
something that just looks like it does now. You know what I mean?
does anybody have a name?
Oh yeah, I've got the Blue Beauty is Javi Jalapeno Pina. And then I've
Wow.
got
Wow. Is that
the
his Christian
Beards
name
is
or?
yeah, it's well I named them after like characters. So it's Javi Pina in Narcos is a
Okay.
character I really liked. I just gave him a middle name. And then I've got Sterling Mallory Archer is my Beards.
Okay, those are great. Keep going. What else you got?
Yeah.
What about the
And
garter
then
trio?
yeah, so I actually named them after the Clarkson's Farm characters. So I've got
Oh.
Richard Ham. Lil J is Jeremy.
Okay, stop. You have to get a tractor toy and stick it in their
I
cage.
do, yeah.
Please.
I
Yeah,
will, definitely.
thank you. Post that to Instagram
Yeah.
right away whenever you have a chance. Something that is safe, but just is a little homage.
Yeah, we'll have to do like a Lamborghini.
Oh
Put a
yeah,
little
that too. A
Lamborghini in there,
tractor and a Lamborghini, and
Yeah.
maybe some a cow toy like a. That is fucking fire. See, that's funny right there. Post that on Instagram right away. The real
Yeah, well, it's
full
easier.
grown
It's
up.
easier to name male snakes for some reason. I have no idea what to name my female snake. So if anyone has any
Just not.
suggestions,
What's the most common? Khaleesi.
oh yeah, oh my gosh, I'm sure
I don't know.
Drogon gets a workout too.
Yes.
Like
Hello. It's almost
Nagini,
yes, but like Nagini's older and
yeah,
Monty.
yeah, that's more like our generation.
Right. Current timeline. Khaleesi.
Yeah, there you
Get the
go.
fuck out of here.
I'm gonna name her Ariana Grande. There you go. Boom,
Okay. Good.
done.
I think that's why it's. I don't know why it can't. Why the keeping part can be interesting is because like they're living their little life cycle and you're having a relationship with them and you get to be more like I have a lot of snakes and I don't think I have a strong relationship with a bunch of them because I'm like I don't I'd clean you but I don't get to like watch you intimately, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, they're not really like pets at that
No,
point.
it's lame.
But yeah, I mean, I like this part of it, like just watching them become more comfortable with me, and just even the little milestones are just like
Hmm.
I'm just a little kid, I get giddy, like it's
William, I guess Philip Beck has been doing a great job with informational posts recently. Good job.
cool.
Uh, oh, pet tubers are a bigger niche. Yes, but I think they have a problem of being like, what do I do for content? Should I get another pet? And then like they can spiral in their own way if they like
Yeah,
content chase. Do you
yeah,
want to
and like
do
how
pet
often do you
tubing?
post?
Do you want to be a pet tuber?
No, honestly, yeah, I don't have the time. I'll be honest, like my job keeps me super busy. I really don't have the time.
Okay, good.
I'd love to, but like, yeah, it's not one of those things. I just kind of post here and there just to for friends and family and stuff like that, and just to post because it's fun. But
Hmm.
that's like a second job sometimes,
It
Like you
is.
gotta be
I accidentally went viral, and I'm scared of those people.
what?
I just I don't usually go viral. I like because everything I post is not that interesting. It's like here's my snake I got, and I'm or I like this one. accidentally went viral, and it's really upsetting. Actually, I'm like,
What pose though?
two of them went viral at the same time, like a hognose being dead and just a ball python in my
Yeah.
hand. Both of them popped off, and just the weirdest people possible commenting. I started to get like PTSD. I'm like, people are looking at me too
Yeah,
strongly,
but
and I
you're
thought it was
Jimothy
weird.
now. That's how Jimothy feels, I'm sure.
I know.
He
Why
probably
is
has
the respect?
paparazzi.
Did
Can
you
you
see
imagine?
him? Did you see him rolling around like a little guy? Like the video of him just rolling in like a circle on the ground.
No, I saw the video of him as like a little what, like a little baby.
I know that one's cute too, but he was just like, I don't know, having fun, and so he was just
Yeah.
rolling on the ground. But since he has no neck,
Yeah. Oh, it's probably pretty easy. Yeah.
yeah, he's just
That's
like a little. His little legs are doing this. Everybody, check that out if you want a good time.
that is hilarious. Yeah, I'm sure he he has paparazzi following him around
Oh yeah.
Chicago.
Everybody, leave him alone. He's busy.
Just
Medusa.
living his
I
life.
haven't seen that many Medusas in baby snakes. Is that a new trend? Because of Greek revival media?
Was it when you say Medusa, what are you talking about?
But like names for baby snakes that are common.
Oh, I thought you meant that two-headed snake someone just posted. Was it like a carpet python?
There was, I think Star Pythons did post a two-headed snake.
Yeah, it's like the most kind of complete two-headed snake I've ever seen. It's very like,
It's very far down.
yeah, yeah. That could be a Medusa. I mean, if they're looking for names, there you go. Boom, named. See, I'm so good at that.
Uh, that's funny. Well, do you think you'll ever crave a boa?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I want one now, but I just have other species kind of above that on my list as far as display snakes. So it may be something if I have, room and time at some point that I'd add on. It just have to be the right
I know
one,
they're just like so snuggly, you know?
They are. That's the one thing is that they're really easy to handle, most of them. So that's kind of like, it's been a change getting into species that are a little bit more
Like
challenging.
like they'll do stuff, but they once they settle down like in your hoodie or whatever, they'll like a ball python chill,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And so that's like they're very in between of like a psychocolubrid and like a ball python that's a little sleepier when you first get it out. Like that in
Yeah.
between I think is kind of appealing in its own way. And so I'm like, well, if I could just have one snake, I would have one boa to me because then it's like you're I don't know.
Yeah. It kind of checks those boxes, doesn't it? Because they're pretty, they're kind of semi big, they're chill. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't think I've found that kind of like perfect combination in the rat snakes yet. Because like my Baird's I love him to death, but I'd never see him. He's just super shy. You know what I mean? Like I'll see his head poking out watching me while I work. And, he'll come like kind of half out for his rat. And
And then he runs away again. I
yeah.
think they get a
Yeah.
little better as they get older. Mine
Yeah. He's just
are,
young, I think.
yeah, mine are
Yeah.
good-ish. Good.
But
Yes.
then they're more
Please.
nocturnal too and like crepuscular. So I think that's part of it. It's like midsummer. So,
Mm-hmm.
he'll come out all day long or night long. But
Do you have is it a specific locality or did you just get one that you liked?
it's I think the Juneau Road locality.
Okay.
I got him from Sam or Tim Spuckler. So
Oh, Timmy?
yeah, he
I
comes
call
from
him
some that
Timmy.
are pretty
He
red.
doesn't know me though. I'm just very casual with a
That's
grown-ass
fine.
man that I don't know.
Timothy.
Just like Donnie Boy Soderbergh. He barely knows me either, but I call him Donnie Boy.
It works for me.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be fired from the internet. Yes, everyone should Google Jimothy. Just check in on him. See how
Timothy
he's
Ritchie.
doing. He's much less sad than the like monkey that had no friends. And
What? Yeah. What was that monkey's name? I was just thinking about that. He's like we've got a celebrity animal trend going on now. It's like
I actually love
kind of
that
saddest
pet,
animal.
but I don't want them to all have happy endings.
Yeah.
Like what was the dwarf hippo's name?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I don't know either.
It
I'm so
was
bad at that. But he had a sister, didn't he? Or like there was a second one that nobody talked about.
the second hippo was hit the internet.
Yeah, there was like I think there was one in the same zoo or something like that. But like everybody liked that one specifically. I don't know.
Oh, Moo Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I looked it up. Classic, Classic. Is it the tow truck guy's raccoon? No, it was not the tow truck guy's raccoon. This is a famous. Let's show a picture. Famous? Is
Yeah,
he
it's a.
famous?
I think he is. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of like Reddit posts and stuff about him. He's got like
Oh
short
my
spine
gosh.
syndrome, I think.
I just. I just got. I'm triggered right now. So when you Google Jimothy, everybody watch this.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
is it gonna work? Let's reload it. A Jimothy character runs across Google.
Are you serious?
Did you know that was like that?
Oh my god.
Google, calm down.
They're getting on the bandwagon, aren't they?
They're so on the bandwagon. Who is
That's
Jimothy?
hilarious.
This is crazy. Jimothy's like he's got like
He's
a
got
short
t-shirts.
spine and tail. Like his all the vertebrae are short, so he looks.
He ain't got no neck.
So he looks funny, but he has a little family, and everyone's concerned about him. I just couldn't believe there was a Jimothy little cartoon that ran across the
That
screen.
is too funny. I wonder if it does it. Are you on the phone? I guess you're on the computer looking it up.
Yeah,
I wonder if it does it on your phone. It is
Looks-
super funny.
there's a raccoon proper, and it was 16 million. Does that mean 16 million people looked up Jimothy?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it's a funny name, so that helps, I think, with virality here. Okay, we gotta lock in. Everyone loves Jimothy.
I feel like our city needs a mascot now, though. You know what I mean? We're never in the news for anything good, so it's like, let's have a Jimothy.
Did you like your reptile show that you went to?
It was okay. It was okay.
Too small.
It was yeah. It was
Right
in
size?
like a. It was in a different location, so it wasn't in like the best location. It's kind of
Would you
No.
drive to Nashville?
yeah. Oh, definitely.
The
Yeah.
HRP is coming up.
Yeah, and we're actually going to Nashville this weekend, so I wish we could.
You're already on board with potentially driving to Nashville. Well, AARP is coming up,
Yeah.
and there should be more everything. More
Yeah,
bands,
yeah.
More knickknacks, more cork.
Yeah, we
decorations.
do our reptile shows, like Repticon particularly, has just it's kind of died after COVID. It used to be fairly big, and I swear they would sell like what was it, like rattlesnakes here for like $50 a pop. And they stopped doing that a while back.
That's great.
I mean, we live on the border of Mississippi, so it's like, you know what I mean. We deep south over here, like
Yeah,
we be
there's
keeping whatever
shows
we
out
find in the
here where you
backyard.
can buy boom slings for $300. And I'm like,
That's nutty. Oh my
maybe there
gosh.
should be a price barrier to this purchase. Like
Yeah.
500.
Well, and like monitors too. It always blows my mind because they'll sit here and I watch flippers and things like we'll sell this guy and his little kid like an Asian water monitor baby, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you know.
It is a lot, but then it goes back to like, I don't know where personal responsibility begins and like the responsibility of the seller.
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah. It's a gray area really, but I think a lot of these guys don't know what they're getting into with stuff like that, you know?
Right.
Like they
Which is
just
funny because
they get
people
caught
are like,
up.
I don't want a corn snake because it's too big. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
And then they go over and buy like a Komodo dragon from the dude three tables over. You know what I mean? Just because
I literally don't get it. I'll never understand. But I think that's why it's hard. I don't recommend like jumping around because you're chasing what people want. Because I don't think they know what they want.
no,
Like if you
they
are going to
don't.
produce snakes,
Just breed what you want to breed. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
unless you're doing it purely for financial reasons, just breed what you want to breed. Like it'll make you happier.
right.
I mean,
Just don't.
I got caught up in that too for a while and like listening
Like,
to
were
the
you
wrong
chasing
people.
more boas to buy to increase the value of the babies, or
Yeah, I just
you know?
like just certain morphs, you know, because people like I had people telling me, oh, like raptors are boring. Raptors are this, that, you know what I mean? You're never going to be able to sell raptors. They're not going to sell. And I was like,
Who
you know, I
says
listened to that
that?
for a minute.
Is that-
I mean, I'd rather not say. I don't want to like
Okay,
call
don't
them
say it.
out. I'll tell you privately, but
I guess they
yeah.
are boring, but so is like a Key West, an Inca, a Celtic. by
Well, it
itself
depends on
is
what you
boring.
do with it.
Right.
Yeah, like I was wanting to, you know what I mean? I was infusing color into it. I was like putting things in different ways. You know what I mean? I wasn't just trying to sell someone a raptor. Um, but I listened to that for a while and I was like, well, dang, maybe I don't need to like work with the, you know what I mean? And I started just trying to do the more like commercial stuff and just ended up not liking it as much, you know? So I'll always tell people, hey, like, you know, it may be the most niche thing in the world, but if you like it, like, that's what you need to work with, you know?
Right. My only thought about that is like, don't overbreed it because you
Yeah.
are
Yeah. If
autistic and
there's not a
like,
market. Yeah.
right. Just breed it a
Yeah.
little bit for fun and you'll find a customer if you
Yeah.
are controlled. But I don't think like high color, interesting looking boas are ever going out of fashion, though.
No,
You know what I
no, and
mean?
that's the thing. Yeah, you infuse some color in something, you know, you clean it up, you have nice parents. Like there's gonna be a market that someone's gonna want that snake. And I've
Mm-hmm.
had people like literally who have like there was a raptor Key West of mine, one of the last babies I made that recently was like on Morph Market and it was mislabeled and I messaged the guy and it had kind of come to him through a series of events. But when I was like, hey, like I bred this is what it was, he got really excited. He's like, we wanted to keep her, but we didn't know her genetics and this and that. And then he, you know, he wanted to buy more of them
Mm-hmm.
from the same litter. So I was like, cool, you know, like people actually do like the stuff when you kind of put some of your passion into it.
So the person selling it wasn't the person you sold it to. They had rehomed it one time.
Yeah, it had
Okay.
like it was the weirdest cascade, I swear, because people don't know how to ID niche things like that, like raptors. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So they had slapped like labels on it, though it was like labeled as an Aztec, whatever, whatever. You know, people just like getting something and just not knowing what it is, and they'll label it as whatever they can sell, which to me is
I
like crazy.
really
It's
hate
absolutely
that a
crazy.
lot,
Yeah, yeah, it
honestly.
ticked me off. I'm not gonna lie, like my husband tell you, I was ticked off that night. So I immediately was like messaging the guy, you know what I mean? And just kind of found out like how it had come to him. And the lady had told him it was like a rescue or something like that. But it was just like you kind of see how snakes slip between the, you know, if they're not
Yeah.
like records aren't kept well, like they do, they change hands so many times, and that's how you end up like having random like calls in a
Right.
litter.
Well, they also change hands when you sell them to one person. Like
Hmm.
like you wholesale a couple of boas to someone who wanted a small wholesale lot. Magically, they have plus fire and plus this, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
that's how people get fucking confused. By the way, it's when people literally like it was on the label. I told you you could ask me. They just add stuff to it, and
Oh
I'm
yeah, they
like,
don't care. I saw them at the show this past weekend. We had a couple of boas on a table that were labeled VPI that had no VPI in them whatsoever. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's not worth the fight really because I knew the guy and he was shady. But you know, just stuff like that. I think it happens a lot at shows.
yeah, that's trash behavior. I'm
Oh
calling that
yeah.
one out.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll inflate the price too, of course. So like, of course this is
Oh yeah.
or
It's our
whatever.
local rat guy too. He'd been like, his name is Carl, and he'd been put out of business. I, th- I think because of like safety regulations. I'm really not sure what happened there, but he'd been put out of business. So he's like relabeled himself. And there was a bunch of drama because he was trying to put other rat breeders in the area out of business. So he's like,
By like undercutting them price wise, or just by like
I feel like trash
dumping.
talking him and
Oh,
stuff. There was a
okay.
lot of drama, and I wasn't super in the hobby at that point. So I just got like you know, the big picture of it. But yeah, he's back. You know what I mean? Like mislabeling crap. And
That's great.
yeah.
That's why I like. I know not everyone should breed, but I like high functioning adults to breed
Don't we all? Isn't
sometimes.
that some wishful thinking?
Where they're like, I'm a coherent adult and I have a job and I can take care of everything and I'm an adult and I want to take care of this lineage or this species or whatever and I'm gonna
Yeah.
label it correctly and I'll provide it for sale when I feel like it.
Yeah. But like once it leaves your hands, it's, you know what I mean?
I know, but
And
otherwise,
that's,
how do you keep it together? Like
I
I've
swear that's,
sold like
yeah.
10 or 15 female climax in my life, 20. I don't know. I don't think any of them have bred. Where did they all go? And not all of
Yeah.
them. Some of them are at breeders' hands now. But now I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't sell them to just
Yeah.
anybody. Because why aren't all those females being bred wherever they went? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Cause it's such a, like, it's hard to find them really. I mean, they come up on Morph Market every now and then, but it's like, you see it, it's like last of the litter. And I mean, that's what I got to. I grabbed like the last of a clutch. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things, they sell like hotcakes. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to breed something and have it sell out, that's it, It makes me wonder if people just want them as pets. I
I
mean,
think
it's
they
kind of what
do,
I'm
and that's
doing.
totally fine. But like maybe the females should be saved for people who have a strong
Yeah.
intention of breeding them, because otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep the species going if every time you sell a female, that person, I don't know, gets out of the hobby and then it gets rehomed 5 times and then it dies somewhere. Like, is that what's happening to them, or are people just
I
not
don't
having luck
know.
breeding them yet, or something?
Because it seems like, I mean, I don't know that many people who are breeding. I mean, it's hard to find them. It really is. And then, a lot of them aren't having like clutches every year. So yeah, I don't know. Are they
Right, they don't
difficult to
have big
breed or?
clutches, so that doesn't help. There's no
Yeah.
double clutching 15 babies
Yeah.
per. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. That's not.
Which is,
And that
I mean, I could argue that's good though,
no,
because
it is
it's,
good. But
yeah, I
I
mean,
just keep
we're
going
not
like of
flooding
all
it.
the females I've ever sold, no one's ever been like, "Hey, the female I bred and I have 5 babies for sale. Thanks for."
Yeah.
Never.
That's interesting.
Right. I sold some to Anthony. Anthony, you're required to breed him. I don't know if he's here right now, but he's being forced by mandate by me breed them. And I think Wes has some. So those are like breeders that I trust to not breed them. Like
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Well,
So that's
it's
why
true. I
like
mean,
maybe you
like,
should breed, because then you might try hard.
yeah. Well, and then
And
you're mixing different lines too and getting more, like you said, genetic diversity and stuff like that, especially in a species that's not like kept a lot in captivity.
yeah,
Like,
just
I'm surprised that zoos don't have some of these species. Like birds, I kind of understand, but like
I
you
think
don't go
some
out and
zoos
see a lot of
do,
them.
but zoos don't necessarily like promote their like D-list reptiles. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
In their
weird. It
reptile
is.
house.
And ours is like that too. Like, I mean, obviously they have like, I think they have like some retics and a berm, but yeah, everything else is like local. I mean, they have some hots that are from different areas, but it's a lot of like, hey, here's stuff you find in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool. But I'm like, you know what I mean? I want to see some species that are like from Asia that I'll never see in my backyard. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a rattlesnake, you know what I mean? Type thing. Like, how many blue beauties do you see at a zoo? And I guarantee people would want to see them.
Do you
They're
ever?
so active.
I guess I've never seen a blue beauty in a zoo, but like I've been to like the
Yeah.
National Zoo. You ever been there?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
It's got a big reptile house, so there are many exhibits of many kinds of things. But no, if you don't go there, you wouldn't like know that they have like all these weird niche species of all different kinds.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
like, we got Komodo dragons. I'm like, that's cool. But
Yeah, and that
I
I
don't
guess that's
know
what
about the
people
whole
want to
reptile house.
see.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
because I mean,
think
a lot of it is big breeds. Again, like the retics, the berms. We have alligators in ours. It's like I think people just don't care about the niche stuff as much.
yeah, I don't like, no offense to snakes, but I think to normal people, it's either a big snake, a venomous snake, or all the other snakes are together, like in a pile. They don't really
Yeah,
distinguish them particularly, except for like either emerald tree boas or green tree pythons. I think people in their little brains, normal people, know that those are different because they'll
yeah,
sit out in
yeah.
a zoo or something.
Well, we see them a lot as kids because I think anytime like a jungle's represented in a book or
They're
something, you've
right,
got like a emerald tree. Because I used to draw those as a child, and that's like the only snake species I knew.
right. Or
I was like,
and
I'm
like
gonna have one of those someday. But yeah,
colubrids are like indistinct green snake
yeah,
creature
yeah.
thing. Like it's not even, you can't even tell what it is supposed to be. And so like that snake represents every colubrid basically in
Yeah, which is
media.
it's a shame because it's like people go to our zoo and it's a great zoo. Like the Memphis Zoo is amazing, and we have a cool reptile house. But I feel like they're not learning a lot about like species they didn't already know about. Like we have a Gabby that's pretty cool, but like
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
I don't know what normal people want. I think they want to look at tigers, like
They want to
charismatic
see the
iguanas.
stuff they already know.
Hmm. They're like, I love tigers and lions, and I think fish tanks have their own aesthetic that's different. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand zoo goers.
It's a weird thing to think about, right? But I think it's like why everyone goes to shows and like wants a ball python too, and they don't want
Do you
like
think,
a
or do you think
Baird's or
people like that
something.
ball pythons are like weird looking? they don't look like a snake.
Yeah. Well, they
So, like,
look quote unquote cuter, I think.
yes,
And I think
because
that's
they
why a
have
lot of
like
like women
fat
keep them.
faces.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because that's why I don't really like them. Like,
You don't
I mean,
like
I'll be honest,
their
I've
like
never been a
puppy
big.
dog lips.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I just think that shape appeals to more humans than
Hmm.
snaky shaped snakes.
Yeah. It looks friendlier because they're kind of like shorter and fatter and you know what I mean?
Right,
And
and
like
then they
hog
look like a
noses too.
snake.
Everybody likes hog
Hmm.
noses because they're cute.
But other snakes are just natural. They could be just as good of a pet, but their body is just shaped more snake-like.
Yeah. I think the
And
longer the snake too, people like less.
yes,
You know, that's
it
why like
looks
colubrids freak them out.
fast.
Yeah.
It looks fast.
Yeah.
uh, it's a lot. I think a lot of colubrids have to get over that. But I think people, when you, and you can get some people converted. You're like, hey, do you want a snake that's sort of an active, diurnal, day partier species? They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think. But they're like, but then it might be a wiggly guy when you hold it sometimes, and they're like, no, 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 I don't want it. I want a ball python. But like, I think they need to
Yeah.
reframe it. Like, what's the total package? Do you want like a bioactive cage with an active day guy that you can get out sometimes and hold, but that's not the primary focus because nobody's holding their snake 24/7 anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, I more wanted things I could see throughout the day because it's like, it's almost like a hierarchy of needs. Like, you kind of evaluate like what you're wanting out of it, and everybody has
Mm-hmm.
like different, you know what I mean? Some people,
Right.
they're not here all day. They want to go open like a tub or something and like hold their ball python, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It totally depends on the person. So I was like, yeah, I can sacrifice some like cuddliness for a snake that I'm going to be able to like see 24/7.
Right.
So like,
I think all permutations are fine, but I think people don't why they buy so many ball pythons is because they don't think about those other permutations as much.
yeah. Well, and there's so many available and there's so many different colors. So there's one that appeals to everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus something that has like maybe one or two morphs or, you know, just the wild type.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dionis, I think that's a big thing too, because I was looking at them and I was like, man, I really like the orange one, you know, the orange plaids, but
Mm-hmm.
like the wild type don't appeal to me as much. And I think a lot of people look at them and they're like, oh,
I
that's not
know
as
it.
cool.
I know, but even
Looks
the
like,
wild types
yeah,
look cool. Like get them up close. They have like
yeah, I like their
these like
pattern.
scalloped Nerodia bellies. Like have you ever seen like I don't know where are you at Midland Nerodia bellies? They have these like scalloped like red and sort of greeny olive colored checkers on their stomachs.
Oh, that's pretty
That's
neat.
weird. And then their backs, they're like yeah, it's kind of brown coated, but there's like orange and pink and yellow. And then they have differences if they have two dots fused or stripes, and they have like
Mhm.
permutations of all those patterns. They're actually insane, even as a normal, very beautiful, this big.
See, that is cool. Yeah, and it's something where like you can't really tell until you see something in person
No,
sometimes.
they look
You know what
like
I
dog
mean?
shit in a picture. You're like, that's so boring. That's so boring. No, it's got like peach, like kawaii, blushy cheeks, and all these little features, and they're really cute and dynamic. But if you're just like, oh, it's a brown turd, you only see a brown turd.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I'm like,
Sorry.
and I'll hit on this just a little bit, right? I'm not gonna get on my soapbox, but like IMG boas,
You
and
don't like IMG
I'm gonna
boas?
offend like I'm gonna offend some of my friends by saying this, but I do not like IMG boas.
Whoa! Shots fired.
Like yeah, and that's why I never worked with IMG, and it's like they look so cool as babies, right? But then they just turn into like turds, basically.
You mean the
Most of
VPI
them.
ones?
I mean, some of them, but yeah, I mean, I even had an IMG VPI for a while, and it just like it turned brown, you know, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of the same thing, you know what I mean? Like some of them look really cool. You do have to see them in person.
I like IMGs. Like a lot of people are like, I want it to be perfectly black, and I'm like, that's not what I want. Like when they have that like dot dash of like yellow, or like the parts of the tops of the saddles that would have been white
Yeah,
above the triangle
they
that
kind
they
of retain
found.
some of that
Yeah,
pattern.
when they
Yeah,
have this
yeah,
like crazy like highway speckly thing, I'm like, that's much more interesting to me if you just want a straight IMG. But they're always like, I need it to be
yeah,
100% black. I'm like, you're 100% wrong. But you can want that, but you're wrong because that's more interesting to have these like, or like the sort of bruised looking burgundy tail sort of
yeah,
bleeding through the
yeah.
black. If it's all black, you can't see that. but it's
There are
okay.
some that look super cool. It's just like I feel like I've seen so many that look absolutely stunning as babies, and
And they
it's like
turn
you'll
into
never
bug.
see that again though. Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
gone, like 6 months down the road, like you'll never get to enjoy that. Like,
Right.
I'm like, maybe let's just like put it something like super high color and try to like preserve that look. And
Right.
that's like where my mind's been, you know what I mean? Versus like putting IMG to stuff.
I think it's another like colubrid problem, like the ontogenic color change of an IMG, where like
Hmm.
if you want a final look that looks like this, even putting two parents together doesn't necessarily perfectly predict
Yeah,
like
what
that
it's
you'll
gonna.
have like the dot dash railroad, or because sometimes like the hypo IMG combos with VPI look good, that like the oil spill brown spot is like
Hmm.
really contrasted with whatever behind it, even on an adult, and so that like it's kind of nasty. But it's cool in its own like patchwork way, but it's just
Yeah.
different. And then which ones will do that, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's impossible. Like you just never know what you're gonna get out
Right.
of a litter, and it's like I've had some come out, and I'm like, you look nothing like the parent. Like my Inca litter did that, I'm like, my Inca was pretty darn dark. She was almost like black, and then I had these babies pop out that were just like color, and I'm like,
Hmm. Did Chaz get your Inca stuff or some of your Inca stuff?
yeah, that Inca. Sorry, my cat is
It's I'm
wanting to
into
be
it,
on
so it's fine.
camera.
Actually.
Yeah, that Inca litter he just dropped the IMG VPI was with the one of the males that I sent him from that litter. So I mean, they're stunning. They're so pretty.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was a little bit hurt by the IMG part. I'm not gonna lie. And Chaz, if you're watching this, I love you. Don't hate me.
No, but I think we'll just have to get there. Like grow up adults, show people adults, and be like, which flavors are people selectively breeding for in the adult, not just the baby.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out. You know.
Yeah, no, they looked amazing. It's so funny to me too because I couldn't move those Incas. I mean, I thought they looked great. Like obviously they weren't VPIs yet, they were het VPI, but like I just could not move them. And I think I still have one. Like Ryan still has one for sale,
Was it
and the
that
mom.
time period that
It
the because you know how things were
Yeah,
weird in
it might have
22,
been.
and then they
Yeah.
were okay a little bit, and then they're weird again last year. But maybe like people are ready for Inca now. You know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. It's just funny because people are like freaking out over that litter, and I'm like, I mean, you could have a sibling right now if you'd wanted to, but like, you know.
Right.
And I'm smacking a bitterness a little bit. Like I do really miss my projects, but I'm so grateful to Chaz for continuing them. Like it's so much
Hmm.
fun to actually see someone like
Keep it
taking things
going.
I've made and yeah, like continuing on with that and just making amazing stuff. So I'm really grateful to him.
He seems like a high functioning adult.
He
Also.
is. Yeah. He's probably the nicest person you will ever meet in your
Well,
life.
that's
So
good.
like
He has nice snakes. Everybody check him out. Low key Boas.
yeah.
I'm sure most people follow him or know of him, but
Yeah, he's getting pretty big, honestly,
I
his
know.
Instagram. I
Well,
think
he's been
he's
doing more like showing his face. I don't know if you've noticed.
yeah, he's
He
been
used to be
cultivating it a
shy.
little bit more. Yeah.
Good for
I
him.
think I think the drama of the reptile world used to kind of get him the way it does everybody at some point.
Were people dramatic to him, or was just like in general didn't want
You know,
drama?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm sure people were critical of him, and I mean that everybody in the hobby is going to experience that at some point or another. But I understand why people kind of go underground,
Hmm.
especially bigger breeders, because it can really ruin your time with it. Like really ruin your time.
Yes. Sometimes I'm like, maybe everybody should have a forced sabbatical every X number of years.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
just your turn. It comes around.
Right. Go hang out somewhere for 6 months or something. The person, because you know, dealing with customers. Sometimes most customers are great. 1% is frightening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Disturbing situations, chargebacks, stuff that like really demoralizes you and it takes the spirit out. I'm like, that person needs to be blessed with a sabbatical. Whoop.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
Just
come back
wave
in
your
a
little
year.
wand.
Because it was hard work doing that. But I don't think if your collection isn't huge, you should be able to. You can either send it, you can sell them, but you can also just like put them on pause, like don't breed them, feed them
Yeah.
enough, so they
Yeah.
just chill. You could do that too.
Which is, I think a lot of people need to do that, to be honest. Like, it's again, it kind of goes back to that puppy mill thing. I think a lot of people are like so set on chasing their projects that they're just like turn and burning, and it's, you know,
Do we
I
need
won't say
that?
more than that because it's
Yeah.
it's again it's controversial, but I do think some people probably need to take a step back and just look at the number
Right.
of
I think
boas
it
they're
might have been
making.
controversial 4 years ago because people were like, I need to stay ahead. I don't think it's controversial anymore. I think most people now that are smart realize that if they want to keep doing whatever they're doing, they have to do it sustainably. And that
Yeah,
doesn't mean breeding ad nauseum every snake you own every year, no matter how many you sell.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to sell them too. It really makes me like I truly wonder where a lot of these like possets and stuff are ending up. And I mean, I guess they're wholesaling. I just don't know. You know what I mean? But like when you're
Right.
turning out hundreds a year, like you're not selling all of those.
For
And I can tell
whatever
you.
reason, I think less boas are being produced now than there were maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think the markets dictated that.
Right. So I think,
Yeah.
because so like when I take a boa that's like a pos het to a show at like $120, it sells very quickly because there aren't
Mhm.
that many normal boas in the world currently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will that continue forever? I don't know. Um, like I don't even see boa breeders at most shows that I've been that have any boas. Period. It's just flipped
Yeah,
boas.
it's not many boba. I mean, I haven't seen many at shows either. I mean, I know like your bigger things like Tinley, they're gonna show up, but I think most of the boa world is like online morph market kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's just
And I think
easier.
it's like saturated, so it's harder to sell them these days.
Right.
We
It's
had
hard to
that like
sell
kind of
them.
COVID boom, and then it
Right.
slowed down.
But there aren't that many boas. Like if someone wanted a pet boa, there aren't
Yeah,
that many
yeah,
animals competing at that price point right now. There's a
yeah,
lot of like
yeah,
high-end boas that are competing for the five people that want a $5,000 boa. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. So maybe they are. I mean, maybe they are just flying off the shelves, like the possets and the ones that are less
I think they
desirable.
are because I was scared this spring. I was like, oh no, but all my pet VPIs, nobody wanted to breed them. They were all to pet homes,
Well, that's awesome though.
and it was fine. And I was like, great.
Yeah, well, shoot, maybe I'm completely wrong. I just like sometimes I don't see them like post on Morph Market, but maybe
I
people
don't
are
think
like
they
buying
go to
them
Morph
before.
Market. I think they go to
Yeah,
shows, whatever. And I did post some to Morph Market, and I was like, damn, like 8 people would message about one boa, and I'm like, what is going on?
yeah.
And
But
it
I
was just
wonder
because
with
it was
like
a
the bigger
normal.
breeders, that don't do the show circuit, like what outlet are they? You know what I mean? Like if it's not Morph Market, where are they going?
I think
Type
on the boa
situation.
count, the couple times I take like pet price boas to shows, people will be like, I can't buy boas that cheap wholesale, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So I think I don't know how much they sell them to like I don't know like Calzoo or Northwest Zoological, like the bigger
Yeah,
wholesale
yeah,
houses. I don't know how much they're paying for a boa right now, but whatever they charge small pet stores is higher than 100 or $120. So maybe the sale rate, the wholesale price is 75 or something
that's interesting, huh?
currently. I don't know if that's going to be forever. I'm just saying your mileage may vary, but in general, I think a normal boa is much more valuable now than it was even 5 years ago. So few people are breeding boas.
Yeah, yeah, and it's mostly like morph stuff too. I think everybody's chasing that.
Mm-hmm.
They want like the cool looking stuff, and but I feel like with a lot of the morphs we're selling to each other as breeders.
Absolutely.
Like those are not like
But
pet
that's
people
why,
buying
like,
them.
they're almost too expensive for normal people.
Mm-hmm.
So when a normal comes up and it's $150, they're like,
Like jumping at it.
"Thank
Yeah, yeah.
you."
I mean that makes sense. That makes sense. Like I said, I've been out of the hobby. I've kind of out of touch with the market at the moment, kind of not having sold anything in a while. So it's interesting getting everybody's take on it because I got out at that point where we were kind of coming off of the COVID hype
In
and the market was
22,
trash.
23.
Yeah, it was I think 2023. Yeah, I believe it
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
like my
we
last
took
one.
an L, and like the boa number was really high then, but it's definitely gone down, the total number of boas available.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me, when I try to sell boas, people are like, "Thank God somebody has a $150 boa," because that's all I want. Because I just want a pet, and I'm like,
That's
well,
funny.
yeah, like maybe we're breeding too many nice morph boas.
Yeah, you'd think it would be the opposite
I think
problem,
people
like with
have
anything.
a lot of hard times getting by these days.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
The market definitely dictates that, it's I could see it expanding for more of like your Walmart boa than your, like
I mean, and
Saks
I don't
Fifth
think a
Avenue
boa should be
thing.
super cheap either because they require a lot of food in a cage that's bigger
Yeah.
than for Dion's Resnick. But I'm just saying, I think a lot of people don't even think about breeding boas because they're like, oh, I need to buy multiple $500 whatevers. And I'm like, no, if you just want a normal boa, that could be a nice pet for a long time if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, because breeding is hella expensive. I mean, you're not going to be making your money back
No,
for a
so if they
hot
want a
minute.
pet and it doesn't look like a ball python, but it's just a different kind of pet. But I also don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, did you keep snakes in like 1999 to 2000 something, like early
No, I
aughts?
think I had like a children's python in like a fish tank when I was in high school and knew
Okay.
nothing. And
Well,
that was
back
my
then,
pet.
ball pythons were either trash, imported, $20, or so expensive they weren't even at shows. So like the boa filled the like
The gap there.
mid-sized python boa role much better.
Yeah.
Like every
Yeah.
table had boas, normal boas, like imperator boas.
That's interesting because the babies are small too. And I'm sure a lot of people,
Every table,
yeah,
and
jump at that and they don't realize how big they get. They're like,
right.
oh, that
And
looks
some
like it's
people were
not
like, "Oh, the
huge.
snake's too big." They would like flip it back to the flipper, and so you'd have some
Yeah.
older boas. So I used to be able to like make selective breeding projects for boas, looking at like 2, 3-year-old boas on tables at shows in like 2002, 2004. There'd be multiple normals, Colombians of different phenotypes, and you could
Yeah.
actually like
Yeah.
see variation in the species. It's crazy to talk about because that is not
Imagine
normal.
that. Yeah.
And
And
because
now
I
we've got
look
like pied boas coming up and
right, instead it's just like they're either hyper fixated morphs or they're pure locality that's online only. There's no
mhm.
like interesting looking normal boas that you could like tinker around with because just not that many are even born.
Yeah, yeah, it is interesting to think about. But then I see
Hmm.
like a ton of litters, it feels like on Instagram that are like the same thing you've seen your entire life. It's like the same stuff people are pumping out.
I
And I
think
mean,
some
I don't
people
know. I don't
are
want to be like high and mighty about it, but I'm like, how many times can I see like a call jungle or a like, you know what I mean? But like people are still selling that stuff, I guess.
yeah, I just think that price comes down and it hits a different market. And maybe in
Hmm.
some, to be clear, some shows may have many more boa breeders than other ones. Like mine may be weird because there aren't that many boa breeders in my area.
Oh,
And
same. I mean, they're not a snake breeders here, period. But it's, you know what I mean? It's more of like the snakes
mhm,
that you would see like a maybe trashier population. You know what I mean? They want like retics and berms and
right, I see way
monitors and
more
stuff.
retics at shows around here than boas.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean, yeah, it's not a lot of retics around here, but yeah, I don't see a lot of boas at shows, period. It's
right,
ball pythons out the wazoo,
hmm
like at almost every table. I might see a few boas at flippers tables, but that's about it. Like there aren't like boa breeders doing our shows.
right. But it used to be like the opposite of that. Like most people got in, maybe they got a berm, they're like, oh, it's too big, and they started to get boas, and they were breeding boas.
Yeah.
Ball
Yeah.
pythons didn't exist at all, and there were colubrid tables and feeder people and blah blah blah. But almost every table had some boas.
That's so weird to think about.
It was fucking fire,
I mean, it's
honestly. You could
bizarre.
like
Yeah. Like,
put together a selective breeding project, or be like, I like, because
yeah, you could
boas are
see
actually
them out in
really
front of you.
different. Each
Yeah.
one is very different from the other one. Fuck, it's crazy, but like they could be very dark, like IMG esque, and you can tell that they're doing that. They're
Yeah.
turning
Yeah.
into that like naturally.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much variation in them. And I
Right,
like
but
to,
it's been
yeah.
sucked from the world because we only show morph baby combos
Yeah.
mostly, and we wholesale all the
Yeah.
variety. Fuck them. Makes me
Yeah. It's
mad.
interesting. And that's one thing I feel like jazz is doing right now too is like making things people haven't seen in Boas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's a lot of stepping stones to it. It's just interesting to watch him, like, just using his collection as a specific, because I think they do get kind of worn out just seeing the same thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I
But
just
like,
want to see like. Did you ever go to like what was his name? Chad Russian's website?
I don't think so.
Let's go to the Wayback Machine. I don't think his website's still up. Do people have websites anymore? Am I like old lady yelling at clouds right now?
I feel like not a lot. I swear I'll see like a Reptile website and I'll click on it and it'll be like, this domain's expired. You know what I mean? There are a few that people keep up, but like I think
just think
Morph
we gotta
Market
bring
gets
it
kind of
back.
put that out of.
We got to bring it back.
Mhm.
I don't know how.
It's fun. I want to see people's collection pictures. And you know what's interesting to me is like I'm much, much less likely to buy from someone if they don't have some type of social media like showing the parents and showing, you know what I
Right.
mean? I feel like there's so many people online that I go and they have something for sale as a baby and I can't find a trace of them online. So I'm like,
Okay.
who are you? Like what does your setup look like? What do your
They're
parents look
probably a
like?
flipper. That's the whole point. Okay, so
Yeah, but I mean, it's breeders too. It's just some of it's like older breeders who are just a little more old school, and they don't do social media.
I know, but I feel like social
Yeah,
media ruined us because it made us not codify all of our like adult breeders and all of our lineages or whatever because we had to do that on a website. So all Boas,
yeah, yeah,
he had all of his adults and things he was working on, and he'd be like, "Oh, I don't necessarily want that one anymore." And there was lots of selective breeding stuff in here, but you could look at all of his variation. A lot of the pictures don't load anymore, but he had like 22 normals because he was just looking for different phenotypes that he liked, and they were
yeah,
pastel-y, but sometimes
yeah,
he liked other things about them, and I thought it was always interesting to look at his stuff. Be like, oh, dude, and I bought one. I think I bought one snake from him, and his name was Diego. On here, I just remembered that. I'm pretty sure it was Diego. Uh, I just, I think we're gonna have to bring it back.
yeah. It is pretty cool. I do like seeing people's like collections and their adults, particularly.
Right. I wish Instagram was better at it because it's like Instagram could be like a lookbook if we didn't have reels and you could have like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like here's all the kinds of phenotypes I work with. Here's an update of this one. It's grown up for a year. But it ends up being like kind of just
it's
marketing
just
in
jumble.
the end.
It's
Yes.
all yeah, because I've had to do detective work to like figure out. I mean, seriously, like I'll go back and like compare markings on it to like the baby pictures and look at like who, you know, and then go back like another 50 pictures and you have like the pairing of adults, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, that's what the parents look like, you know what I mean? Or that's what it is.
Right.
Because
Right. But if they
you
had
have
a
to be a
website,
detective.
they could have their updates on their Instagram. Like the litter
Yeah.
was one,
Yeah.
but all of their like consolidated thoughts or and pictures of adults and like what this project means to them on the
Yeah. Yeah.
website.
It would be nice because there are so many projects some people have, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? I have no
Right.
idea.
I saw fine line boas at the last Dallas NARBC. Do you remember those?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And I'm like, wouldn't that be nice if that was on a website so someone would know that they had it? You know, like
Or
there's just
like, what
some
is the Granite Project? And this Pied Project's kind of like disappeared too. You just don't hear about it much. Like you can't see who's actively working with it, and you get like little trickles of it sometimes in
right.
pictures,
We
and you're
did
like,
have a
well, where did
little
that come from?
litter update. I think it's because he speaks Spanish, so I don't know.
Well, then who is the guy? And I actually sold a boa to him. I should know this, but who is the guy who like took that project over for the Pied boas and then
I don't know. Aren't there multiple
put like a
hides at this
business
point?
spiel together? I don't know. It was the funniest thing. Michael something. I don't know.
Constrictor capital constrictors.
I don't know. It was a while ago, but I thought it was pretty funny. But then you didn't hear much of it after that. You know what I mean? And it's like it's been years. It's literally been like what 3 years since I've even checked on that. And I'm like, there should be
A lot more around.
yeah a lot more of them if they're you know what I mean, or like pets floating around.
Oh yeah, and just so we're not sued, we're not saying there's anything wrong with pied boas. We don't know. Do
No.
not sue. They're perfect, beautiful
Gorgeous,
blooper snoots.
gorgeous.
Please don't sue me. It would be nice if there was more updates on the project. Like maybe
Yeah,
people
yeah.
pets are just getting ready to breed them this year or something. You know, maybe.
Yeah, just be cool to see. I'm very much like I wanna follow things. I wanna be able to see your collection, this, that, you know. So I get a little frustrated when like there's so
Sustainable.
many people out there in the hobby that just don't have a social media presence. I can't, kind of dig.
Right, and even if they had a social media presence, you wouldn't be able to coherently find the answer to your questions
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah, it is.
randomly.
It's a lot of detective like trying to go back on the raptor genetics and like I
Right,
had to
because they
like
need a website
message
where they're like,
people and
"This
like
is everything I know
yeah.
about raptors up to this point, and now I'm selling them, and this is a phenotype or whatever." Everybody,
Yeah.
I go back to it because I think Gen Z, I love them, but they're acting very like they want analog events, they want analog books.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is like, yeah, we kind of fucked up, like putting everything in an algorithmically based feed. Every piece of information, every conversation isn't anywhere important or maintained or
Yeah, and it's not. It
written.
just depends on
It could be
how it's
deleted at any
organized.
time.
Well, and the AI adding to that is just adding more chaos because it's
It
like
is.
now what's real, what's not. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that it's going to be harder and harder to keep track of things.
Maybe his name wasn't Diego. Maybe it was Sergio.
And it's Mike Foster. So someone pointed out Mike Foster is the guy that got a hold of the Pod Project, and it was like the second coming of Christ. I don't know. It was so dramatic. I mean, the posts he made, it was cracking me up, man. It was like a business perspective, and if you wanted to be an investor, this and
I
that.
think
And I was just,
he found investors.
oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah, it was just so funny the way that it was thrown
Like
out
just
there,
syndicated, like a racehorse gets syndicated.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're just too broke. What's up, AJ? Joe says, "Do I have any news on Dallas replacement?" No, I don't think it's gonna be replaced. What about that theory? I think I think they're gonna wait it out. Honestly, that's my current theory. Because I think I don't know. That's something I don't understand is reptile show politics. It's like outside of my purview. But they're always like fighting with each other and setting
What's
up
going on
shows.
there? Fill me in.
So I don't think Dallas is fighting with anybody, but the NARBC Dallas, they're knocking that place down and they're trying to find a new place and they can't find a place
In
that's big
Texas?
in Texas that's big
They can't
enough.
find a big venue in Texas.
Right, I think that's the whole point.
Girl,
It's
you
like
can throw a
big.
stone and hit a mega church. I mean, come on.
Do they want snakes in there or no?
I mean,
I
some denominations,
Right.
they love them.
If they wanted to size down, they could probably find a venue, but they're sort of stuck on the idea of it staying super big.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe they're not trying that hard right now, is my theory. But I don't know.
Yeah, and I think they could go. I mean, if it were a cooler time of year, you could use like a horse arena or something, I swear, but like it's so darn hot there, you'd have to have something AC'd.
No, there are big, and there's also lots of little shows already all over the place in
Yeah.
the Dallas Fort Worth area. So there's lots of little shows. So they're like, well, why would we size down? And I'm like, the reason you would size down is because you're in the RBC. So like, who cares?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
have a feeling they're just gonna like slow roll it and worry about it later. What about
Yeah.
that? So it's not really drama, but and Irving has one, but like I think the Irving one said they didn't want reptiles in it.
Oh, stop.
I think we did it. Did you learn anything about keeping pets?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I learned about Dallas, that's for sure.
Oh, God.
No, this has been really fun. It's been nice just chatting and kind of, I don't know.
Thanks for coming on, even though I breed snakes in tubs still.
Oh, you awful person. We can't be friends now, I guess. You know what I mean?
Ever be friends. No,
No judgment here.
Like, what's the ethical amount of tub? I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a gray area, and it's up to everybody as an individual what they're comfortable with. So like, I'm not out here trying to judge people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing my thing.
Right. I don't think people wake up in the morning and like, I have a million snakes, and they're like, I really want to torture all of them though.
Yeah. Yeah.
My goal I guess my goal in general is to reduce collection size so that things could be in bigger enclosures in general. But
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
whole process, also, by the way.
Oh, it is. It's like, especially if you've been in it for a while, like how do you decide what to keep? And,
I have no idea. I feel like it's taken like 2 or 3 years. Like
yeah,
I've already started to
it's
pair
tough.
off. Like I sold 5 or 6 adult female boas.
Hmm.
But now that I look at it, I'm like, actually, I'd probably have to sell off even more again, because stuff grows up, and then you're like,
Yeah,
do you cut a
yeah.
whole project? Do you keep like? Do I cut Paradigm completely to make space? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
how many projects you keep. And I was there too. I was kind of thinking about it like, oh, what if I just did one pair, you know what I mean, or two, but then it goes, then what if they don't go and I need like a third or a fourth, and it's like, what
Right.
projects do I cut? What do I keep?
That's why it's a process, and
It
nobody's
is.
perfect at it. And
Or
any
you do it like
decision.
me, you just get rid of everything at once, and just go.
I don't know if I can.
Eat them out the door.
I need like an inciting incident. Like
Start over.
I don't even know. Isn't there a point where you're so old? Not that I'm that old, but you're like, okay, this is the last collection I'm gonna have
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the snakes live X years or whatever.
I think about that with cats sometimes, because I've got my cats and I'm like, I'll probably have cats after these cats, and it's a weird thought
Right, but then there's gonna
based
be
on
a
their
time when you
lifespan.
can't get more cats.
Yeah,
They will
exactly. Yeah.
outlive you.
It's a
I
weird
keep
thought
thinking
though.
that.
Speaking of cats.
I know. And I don't know the right answer to any of that because obviously you could like, I don't know. The snakes don't love you the way a cat does, so it's different.
Yeah, it
But
is. It is. But it is you kind of deciding like what does my final collection look like?
right,
What do I
what's the
really
last
want to
pet
keep
I will
for
have?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know.
It's an
Uh,
interesting thought, yeah.
right. So then
And I
you're like,
don't
don't
think
get a turtle because it'll
oh my
live.
God, yeah. Well, and I doubt I mean most people aren't keeping snakes through their whole natural lifespan.
Right, but what if somebody wanted to?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know?
guess you'd have to consider the lifespan of the snake too. And I know like they can live longer in captivity. I know a lot of them don't, just based on the way we feed them and, whatnot.
Right. I
But
have a boa now that's almost 20 years old that I didn't have initially, but that thing is still
wow,
alive. So
that's
like,
crazy.
if I kept 3 females their entire natural lives, it's like my like core females. Isn't that probably enough? Because they
Yeah.
were born in 2020, so they're now 6 years old.
Well, and it's like,
Then
do you
I'll
want to
be
keep
really
breeding
old
them or
when
you just
they
want to keep
die.
them?
Right.
Because it's
It's
like,
tough.
I think we get in that cycle too of like, especially in the breeding world, like we're just replacing them with new stuff. So
I
like
know.
you've got this cool female, but she has babies and then her daughters have an extra gene. So we eat that female and it's like nobody's keeping a boa longer than X number of years. I mean, I'm seeing that with breeders too. Like their
Mhm.
collections are recycled like
Right, you sort of
pretty
have to,
often.
otherwise you grow infinitely. You
Yeah.
have to, but then like,
Yeah.
hopefully those females go to someone who wants them. But like, do they get cycled again?
They do. I mean, that's the thing
Again?
they do. They get
Again?
over because I've seen my own babies that I've sold. I mean, they've changed hands now in 3 years, like several times, and I'm like,
That part's depressing.
yeah, but it breeder females. I mean, that's just what they do. And I mean, the males too, but yeah. So I kind of wonder if there's even a way to know how long most boas are living in captivity because no one's keeping track of that. You know what I mean?
No.
Like no one's
Right.
keeping the ones that they make that long and no one's keeping track. So like I don't think any of us actually know how long most of these snakes are living in captivity. Truly, I
No.
don't. I think they live a lot less long than people think.
Right. Even just like the handoff part is becomes its own sort of threat. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. They got mites from the third owner and that gave them arenavirus, and then that's what made it sick.
Yeah.
But it was only 7 years old, so it would have been fine. But because it got mites, that made it
Yeah,
sick.
because there's more exposure, and then
Right.
you have people like overfeeding them. Everybody's like husbandry is different. So
Right.
yeah, the risk that they're gonna die early is like so much
Like
higher.
the more times it moves, I think. Or
Yeah,
like
and
if
I
it gets
think
in
the
an
people,
accident in
yeah,
a new cage and it hurts itself and it gets an infection. I don't know. Like everything. So who knows the answer? But did you see the
mhm.
last thing? What are they called? Responsible Reptile Keeping's reptile survey, where they asked people what the oldest reptile they owned was.
No, okay, that's interesting. What were the
I don't remember. We went
results of
over it on
that?
Member Live. I think the oldest snake was a ball python, and it was 47 years
Jesus.
old.
But that's just someone like saying it was, right? Like, did they
Oh
produce
yeah.
it or like
How do we
how
know?
long
But
had they
there's a
had
bunch
it?
of like retics and boas and stuff that were in the 20 to 30 range.
Yeah, which sounds like that. I mean, a boa, if kept in a great, sort of great husbandry, probably should live 20 years or so. But I
Hmm.
think especially like the churn and burn, especially with like our breeders that were, because someone's buying a proven female or something, they're buying it to breed. They know they're not going to keep it a long time. They're probably not like treating it the way they would a forever pet.
Yeah, I get.
Like,
I guess. But maybe this is the problem always with breeding any animal, is you produce more than you keep by default, and so it's just
yeah.
always.
Yeah, it's like a rotating door, it's
I
interesting. And I'm
know.
not trying to just like crap all over the hobby, you know what I mean? It's just things that I've noticed from being in it and things that I've thought about. And it's like, that was part of that like that's a moral puzzle piece for me that was like falling into place while I was keeping, I was like, I don't really
Right.
like this.
That's why, like, if someone kept two, I don't know, uh, branchia boas, they could just keep them forever because they just have that locality, and who cares how much they cost? They breed them when they feel
Yeah.
like there's a market for them. They
Yeah.
don't have to turn and burn, but
Yeah. And that's like with the climax. If I do like grab a male eventually, it'll be like that pair that I have and I will keep them and
right.
it
There's no.
won't be,
I guess you
yeah, I
could
won't be like
safely
trying
breed
to.
for color or something, but they're so hard to tell what color they end up being that it's kind of
Yeah,
like.
it's like you're breeding them at that point just to have like what I mean? I'm not trying to
Yeah.
breed to like make a morph or something and like replace the mom. I'm probably just gonna have like a breeding pair,
Right.
if I want to do that at some point, like and that feels okay to me.
Right. It's funny because the UK people are like, I can't sell Climax or Russians. And I'm like, your country must suck, honestly.
They just not want them or they illegal.
No, they can't sell them. They think there's no market for them, and I think there's no market for anything there because all of their prices are really suppressed, like for locality boas and morph boas and all kinds of stuff. So I think I don't know, Brexit was a mistake. How about that?
It's interesting. It is interesting. Things in Europe seem a little bit nicer too. Like they don't produce as much, so they have to be a little more picky. It seems like
They
with the
don't
boas
produce
and
as
things like that.
much, but then they like can't sell them either because
Yeah,
there's
because
less
there's not a
market
huge
for them
market. It's
internally.
yeah, it's interesting. We're like the opposite. It's weird because we're putting out anything and everything that will sell, but it sell. You know what I mean? Like there's always a buyer somewhere.
We do have more people, and we love freedom. So,
Oh yeah, freedom snakes. That's what we're gonna call them. They're not boas anymore.
well, I think if you overthink, I don't know, your care requirements so hard that you overthink it into the sun, you make it so you can't sell very many, and no one wants to buy very many, and nobody wants to breed very many, and it's just
Yeah,
like a tortured experience.
yeah,
But I don't think it has to be tortured. I think you just have to be sort of thoughtful about that.
yeah. You can't make it stress. Like if it's stressing you out, don't do it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I think the UK people have a problem selling their climax because they're like, I can never sell these. And I'm like,
Well, because they have like such like different require. I mean, the requirements really aren't bad, really.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
I bet you
truly, they.
could if you just tried. Calm
Yeah.
down.
I mean, they seem pretty easy to take care of. I've heard they're pretty similar to corn snakes. I mean, they don't need like a
Well,
ton of
that's
heat.
I think people get into their own head that nobody wants them because nobody wanted them 5 years ago. They don't like retest the marketplace. They're like,
Yeah,
hey, does
yeah,
anybody want a blue snake on a stick? No, okay, I won't breed them. But maybe somebody does this year. But if you never produce them, yeah, you sort of have to induce some demand with supply sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
I
But
think.
it's hard if you've like nixed the project 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Or they're just gonna like hang around with them and maybe they'd have to really enjoy the species, I think, to do that, to just keep it on the
Yeah,
shelf for a while. And that's not something that like most breeders are willing to do space wise, time wise, money.
yeah. Like you can't shelve it forever, waiting for demand. But
There we go.
that's
A
why you
lot.
don't have 800 of them.
Yeah, that's why you like pick something you actually really like working with, and I think it makes the experience so much better. Because if they
Uh,
don't sell, you're still getting like the experience out of it.
yeah. And Climax are fun to take care of. They're fine. They're
Oh
good
yeah.
kitties. They're very fun.
I'm loving it already. I mean, she's all over the place. Can't
Yeah.
wait to get her out of that tub. So
Busy little bees. Aurora has three 16-year-old boas, and she's had them their whole lives. I wish people treated them more like family members. And Joe says, I never sell my original few snakes. I have plenty of snakes that are 15 plus and some 20 plus that I got as hatchlings. Some people churn through them, but that doesn't have to be a rule.
that's so awesome. Oh my gosh. Toby says
Meow
hello,
meow.
y'all.
Yeah, I think it's just part of like the FOMO peer pressure morph game part where it's like if you're not upgrading, you're falling behind. And I'm like, are you? I don't see normal bows anymore, so like you didn't have to breed them the whole time, but maybe now would be a time to have like a selectively bred pastel project going so it's like reasonably
Yeah.
priced
Yeah.
instead of real morphy and out of the whatever.
I think
That's
people are snobby about it too. Like, I mean, I even have like my husband sometimes is like, I don't like morphs. I'm like, oh, I like the hypo bears. He's like, I don't like morphs. So I'm like, ugh, maybe I don't need a hypo bear. You know what I mean? The people around us kind of affect like how we view the
he
things we
doesn't like
like
any
sometimes.
morph of any species.
Yeah, he's not like big on morphs. And some people are like that. I mean, you see people just keeping localities and it's like I think
Yeah.
people are really, really kind of strongly divided on their opinions sometimes. Because I mean, I'm a morph person generally, um, but yeah, I think that gets to people sometimes too. They have something and they're like, well, that looks cooler, and like people are saying that this morph like just isn't that cool, or you know,
I mean, some morphs aren't that cool. Like they aren't
no, I mean
for
they're not. But like if someone likes them,
right.
you know,
Somebody does like them. I do think most wild animals look good the way they are naturally, but a lot of people who are like wild types only still want very specific things that are
yeah,
aesthetic to
yeah,
them. They're like, I only want whatever a high color normal Baird's rat snake. I don't
yeah,
want
and that's where
the
I am with
ones.
things too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that you're still sort of applying a human gaze to the natural animal. You're not
yeah.
really liking it just the way it is, covered in dirt and ticks, coming out of the desert,
Well,
no
yeah, and we
tails, chewed
selectively
on
bred a
by
lot of
manatees.
these. Yeah. But
Yep.
yeah, like even the wild types now, I mean, we've selectively bred to look a certain way, to be more blue, to be more red, whatever.
Right.
So yeah, you can find variation even in there,
So
and
do
you
you
know.
really love the wild type? Is what I ask people. Because I like
Yeah, I mean
everything
that's an
and it's
interesting
all fine.
question.
But yeah, they're always like, I only like wild types, but I've been selective breeding the shit out of this Occidentalis for the last 30 years, but I only like wild types, and it doesn't look anything like they do in the wild.
Yeah, but then you get into semantics, you know what I mean? Because it's like people get into that whole like, oh, the colorful boas aren't actual pastels because pastel means this, and I'm like, well, pastel meant that like 15 years ago, but it doesn't mean that now. You know, like the
Jeff, I
terminology
let Jeff
changes.
Ronnie hear you say that out
I
loud. I
know,
just
I
want to
know, I
get
know.
honest. Well,
But
that's
it's like if
how
you know,
I knew pastel to be was the Jeff Ronnie version of it. And then when I came back and everyone's calling everything pastel because it's high color,
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like,
But
what are
that's
you
like the
guys talking
definition of
about?
it now in the hobby. I mean, the hobby has changed the definition of that word because you've got red rum pastel, you've got RC pastel, you've got pastel dream monster jet. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's all pastel now.
I know, but
So if you're sitting here just like banging your head on
if
the
the
wall trying to
creator
get people to
still
like,
exists and he says, "Stop it, you guys are bad." Who has dominion here over the word?
I think it's the general public with their
Okay,
pitchforks.
shots fired.
I do. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just like I wonder why because I've had people post on my own stuff and be like, "Well, pastel means it's not. You know, it started out like this, and this is." And I'm like, "Well, it's the what's the point? Are we gonna like get into an argument on Instagram about this? Like,
Do you
it,
think I guess the reason why he added dream to it was to make a distinction between everything else and his stuff.
like his line of
Yeah.
pastel, yeah, and it's
So
like,
like the pastel dreams can conform to his standard or whatever. I
yeah,
guess.
I don't know. It's just funny too because you like everybody's. It seems like desperate to like label something themselves to have their own
Yes,
line of like
that's the other
something.
thing. There's too many lines of pastel, so who
And they all
cares?
originate from the same thing. They're just like, you know, you've line bred them for like RC pastel. I'm sorry, it came from Koosh stuff. Like,
Hmm.
you know, and you've just line bred it, you've refined it, but like, and changed the name, but like they all go back to those same like origins. They've just refined, it's just the line breeding and the refining of that pastel into a certain look and then labeling it that way, you know? So it's, I mean, they do have
And
different looks,
sometimes-
obviously.
I'm not talking about RC pastel, but sometimes it's not even line breeding. It's one pairing was kind of nice. And
Mhm.
so all of the babies of that pairing are now called that line. And I'm like, that's not a line, that's a dot.
It's
There's
awful
no
too.
selection
Yeah.
to it.
They're not pastels. Like you see so many, because if one parent came from that line, like you said, they're going to label the babies that way, and it doesn't have a drop of color in it. It doesn't have a drop of the
Yeah.
original
Very
line, but you know, it's just a marketing tool, and that drives me. That's another thing that just drives me up the wall.
Yeah,
And Boas,
to me, it's complicated.
it is, and I could get on my soapbox.
The pastel word could mean something distinct. Like
Yeah, and you see, well, like Gray Russians pastels that are like true pastels, and kind of where that came from. Like I think there are a few people who still have them floating around. You can see where that came from. They're
pastels
true.
aren't high color. They are the old style.
Yeah, and that's what it used to me. Yeah, that
Yeah.
like just really, really
And they
clean.
could have color, but that wasn't the point. You know?
Yeah, yeah. But I think the definition of pastel has changed now. And it just means something different to the hobby as a whole. So it's kind of, you know, it's hard to go back and just like argue that pastel is the Gray Russian version or the old version versus the new version, because it's, you know, it's changed. And stuff like that's going to continue to change.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it has to be both. If they want it to be color, it also has to be cleanness too, in some capacity. Because you can have something really high color that looks like it rolled around in dirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
So like it
But
has to be
yeah.
both to some capacity. But like Jeff Ronning had very specific definitions of how much black was reduced out of the saddles, no matter what the saddle color was, and like how the side medallions were very clean of black. They were just maybe like a burgundy or brown color.
Yeah, but like good luck enforcing something like that with labeling, because people, you know what I mean? Like most people aren't going to care. They're just going to put a label on it to sell it and to sound, you know, like they have something that's worth more than it is.
Well, that's why people should maybe breed normal boas again.
Yeah, there you go.
And they could be like, okay, I'm going to grade these. Be like, these are pastels in my opinion. These are not.
Yeah, there you go.
And maybe there's a market for that variation right this second. Because a long time ago, there was too many fucking boas. Because there was boas everywhere coming out your ears. And so a lot of people would be like, don't breed your normal boas to your normal boas because it's unethical. And maybe
because everybody was doing it, you know what I mean? They get a pair.
Now, I think it might kind of be ethical to like target the particular animals at a new person, but have them be nice looking, not have a rhinovirus or mites.
Yeah, I think that's where like pastels come in.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a normal that's like a pastel lineage that just looks really freaking cool. You know, it's not het for anything. And it's cheap. I mean, I got some, they were called like red tiger pastels, cheapest boas I probably ever bought. Yeah. The reddest boas I've ever seen in my life. Just line bred stuff.
Tiger stuff?
I don't think so. They were like from a European line, and I did a little bit of digging, but I couldn't find much about them. But I mean, they were just super cheap, super pretty, probably prettier than most of the stuff I have.
Right.
You know, but people would pass on them because, you know, they want the IMG. No, I'm just kidding. They did. They wanted like flashier and worse, but I'm like, I've got a straight like red boa over here I bought for like $200.
Yeah, I think when people get into boas new, they want that. And they want high-end projects. But maybe in the end, what they really wanted was just like an easy to care for, like moderate sized boa, not the biggest one, not the
like a Dionys rat snake. I'm just gonna
but of the boas, like maybe they want like a little type 2 anery Sigma project because it's very chill and not that big of a deal, and they're having fun, or they just want a normal boa project. They don't have to upgrade every year and get rid of the female.
Yeah. See, that would be ideal to me. I thought about like if I go into breeding again, what would it look like? And it would be like that. Like keep the parents, just breed something very niche that there's a market for, that people like, you know what I mean? And that, like the climax kind of hit all of those. Or even the bears. I mean, they're a little less popular, but you know.
Which is weird, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so handled. Like they're very, very chill to handle. It's cool. It's just like they're not
And they
something
look
you
dope
see out a
as
lot.
hell.
They
You
they
know
do.
anything that's gunmetal gray, shiny, with pink and orange magma spewing out the sides? No.
Yeah, it's so
No.
cool. Yeah.
You stupid. Y'all are stupid. Go
And
get one
they
right
don't
now.
take a long time to cut. Like, I mean, mine's about a year old, and he's already getting like,
Right, they're
the
pretty
color
grassy.
underneath.
They just look like dog shit when they're first born. But ignore
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Put on.
So yeah, if I did breed, I'd probably sit on them for like a year and just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't take them to shows. People are stupid. They're
Yeah.
barbarians. Sorry.
So if you want one, hit me up. I've got a wait
Yeah.
list going for 2032. So
2032, it's coming down the
there
pipe.
you go.
Yeah,
Mark your
I got Nova
calendars.
Alto Bards, and I got a hypo on purpose, like a T plus on purpose. But I like the wild type better because it looks like fucking fire.
Yeah, I actually do too. I
But
think
I
they
don't
have a
know
little more
if
color.
anyone will buy them. So
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, girl, if you make some, hit me up.
I'll parachute them to your house on a
Cool.
drone.
I'm gonna take over my husband's man cave and just put snake enclosures in there. He doesn't know it yet, but
Give him the old mouth hug procedure. And he'll do what you want. That's what
yeah,
I
there you
do.
go.
Pro tip, everybody. It's the end of the podcast, so we had to bring it up. All right, let's say goodbye. Bye, everybody. Sorry I talked about mouth hugs at the end. I couldn't keep it myself.